climb with agave cactus mixed in.
Now, you came in just now, Bill, but we were all just talking about our favorite foods growing up. And
good.
I'm really just, I can't not hear those comments in the context of like, that was Bill's favorite thing to have for breakfast growing up. Was just like...
Michelob agave cactus.
Yeah,
Edition.
just like an Eggo, every pocket filled with
Agave
Michelob Ultra.
Michelob Light.
With an microwave
Immediately.
with some agave syrup on top.
Does it get toasted too?
Sure, of course. I have to fix the camera, so keep talking about.
I'm still laughing about the idea of an Eggo waffle with beer, like cheap beer.
Is it favorite breakfast or just favorite food in general? Because if
We
it
got
was like
started on
We're just talking about unhealthy things. I kind of went
for
to
like
breakfast.
grade 1 through 6 or 7, I ate every day for lunch bologna and ketchup sandwiches. And
Oh, when I was a
you
little
heard
kid, I used to do ketchup and mayonnaise sandwiches.
No!
Have you heard of chocolate Pop-Tarts?
The stream is over.
yes,
I forgot that.
Apparently only me and Jeff could encounter them at this table.
I would throw them in the garbage.
No!
They were very bad.
Yeah.
No!
Are they the s'mores kind or the regular?
No, not those foul abominations.
Yeah.
I'll take
No, the
s'mores.
chocolate
I've heard of
ones.
the chocolate ones too.
The
They have the
chocolate
white
ones are fine.
sprinkles.
Very faint white, small white sprinkles. Yeah.
I
Just
used
in
to
case
like
you weren't getting enough sugar already, we sprinkled a little
brown
on.
sugar
hate
cinnamon
sprinkles.
Well,
I
it's not
cannot
they were like
stand
specks,
sprinkles
really.
in
They
any
weren't like
form.
sprinkles. They were like
Texture or?
Yeah, they're like this waxy, chalky texture,
about to
and
say,
they don't
like-
taste good.
No,
They taste
these are-
bad.
Like, I'm
these
okay
were
with
like
like the
that.
crystalline sprinkles, but not the
Yeah, these
actual.
were they were that kind.
Oh yeah, I hate the
Sugar
little like the
crystals.
pill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you are correct.
Like little tiny Flintstone vitamins.
Brown sugar cinnamon was my jam, and I ate them
Yeah.
not toasted.
Same.
Never
That
toasted.
got fucked up there at the end.
Man, I hate mayonnaise. I will not. You know, the
Ketchup and
okay.
mayonnaise sandwiches. I'm
No.
telling you, they were
Oh.
so good.
Miracle Whip or real mayo?
I use real mayo. Hellman's man, real.
When I was a kid,
All right.
Real mayo's good.
my
Miracle
favorite
Whip is
breakfast was
garbage.
always 2 Eggos toasted and every single pocket filled up with mayo.
This is the worst sentence you've ever said.
And he didn't even eat the Eggos. He just licked the mayonnaise out of the pocket.
Oh no.
Squeaky El Lobo has saved us from our hell. Squeaky is subscribed for 11 months in a row. All right. I've been a little bit rusty. Let me see if I can translate here. Let me see if I've got the proper codices.
Oh boy.
Holschites shifts. It's a foxy. Sand Sansa.
Santa Sansa.
I
City in
I loves you all. Somehams ants.
So that was the original message. What was the translation?
I am actually 11 years old. Excuse me, 11 Eeyores old.
Yours?
Eeyores.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck! I'm so excited.
I haven't seen you in an Eeyore's age.
I've reached mid stability. Hi Fox and Zespies and Bills and He Boy.
He boy?
He Boy.
Which one of us is that?
I'm pretty sure that's you.
Yeah.
That's my
That's
process
our
of
new name for you,
elimination.
Key boy.
Herbie.
Because the rest of the nicknames are Berensons, Elbows, and Jeff. Squeaky, thank you. It's good to be back. Hello, Squeaky. Hello, everyone else. Thank you so much for joining us once again here at the TNT and Horrible Breakfast Comedy Hour.
Tragedy, I think, is a little more accurate.
When last we left off, we had just discovered the mysterious purpose of the idol of Zendrick. A jade statue of a giant that had been smuggled out of the distant continent to the south. It had been brought over and smuggled across. You had worked together for the first time in a way to recover for Colette, to make sure that it didn't fall into the hands of whoever might want to get their hands on it. And, as it turns out, a lot of people might want to get their hands on it, whoever was smuggling it away in the first place. Agents of the Lord of Blades. warforged fanatic out in the Mournland. And why would they want this thing? Because it seems to have the power to transfer souls, perhaps even to inanimate objects. Colette is determined that no one should have this power. And she wants to hide it away in the safest, most secure place in reach that she knows of. The Kundarak Bank of Sharn. She joins you now in your hideout above the sign of the Raven Skull to discuss your options for breaking into said establishment.
Sorry.
Yes!
We had a score that we finished last time and never got the results.
Hey! That's a good call.
Yeah, Kirby's on it.
Yeah, on point.
Well, we had a very specific purpose behind it.
Yeah.
We did.
What was the score? Does anyone want to remind us what we did
A minus.
ever?
A quick and dirty score.
Sure.
Oh my.
Basic
Take it away.
idea was we were trying to reduce our heat level, and to that end, we wanted
Oh, we
to.
shot all those pirates to death.
No,
Oh, right.
It was after that.
It was after that.
Ark went to talk to a barkeep who had betrayed him and pump him for information.
Oh, yeah.
And in the process, we were attacked by a giant doggo,
Yeah.
which we fought off successfully.
Doggo.
Polo.
Polo.
No, it wasn't Polo.
It wasn't Polo.
I'm very adamant that it was not Polo.
Yeah.
It may have been the doggo of Joro, or the Joro doggo.
It was strongly
Yes,
suggested it was
the
probably
jog,
a Joro,
as it's
a
known.
Joro doggo.
Yes, indeed, you had completed a score, and we should deal with the results of that. So, when we wrap one of those up, you get a certain number of things. You get, first of all, payoff. So, do we actually secure any money as part of this?
No one thinks
No.
so. I shot it in the mouth though, so we can spit up coin.
I picked a lot of pockets. We
Did
did
you?
always.
Did anyone cut off its tail so we can get the boss weapon?
No, I specifically targeted its head, but I was trying to be a proper, like, I didn't want to be crude at the table.
Thank you. Okay. In which case, I don't think you get any coin for this particular mission. Now, the specific intent of that score was to reduce heat. Have you already gotten your heat reduction?
No.
I don't think so.
What is the crew's current heat at?
7.
7.
No, just 7. 7 tier 0.
Okay, so here I think is what happens. Your heat goes down by 4 as a consequence of this action. In addition, however, you gain 1 rep as a consequence of fighting off the rumored boogeyman monster belonging to a well-known crime lord. I think word about that will get around and increase your reputation on the streets, as they say. Did you guys pick what your upgrade is for your crew?
Yes, barkeep another.
Okay, what does that do?
When you indulge your vice, you can choose to roll a d4 after the d6 with all the same consequences if it goes over.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, those of you who are particularly inclined towards self-destruction can just, dive in.
Everyone immediately like turns
And
to
then
look
come
at
up for air and
I was
dive in
already
again.
diving in, it just wasn't having the desired
Yeah.
results.
I know the feeling.
Yes, indeed. Cool. Anything else before we resume this bank heist?
Nope.
Or at least this bank heist planning.
Okay.
We're not actually going to heist this week unless we really just jump in, but I think that probably what's going to happen is we're going to spend this week doing a little bit of downtime stuff, given that I think that people have stuff to do now that the score is completed, might have a little bit of improvements and such, some social connections to make, but also we're going to do a little bit of prep leading up to this heist. And Colette sort of spreads her hands and says, look, I think the Kundarak Bank is probably our best bet. And I've got a loose idea of what it is that we ought to do, but you guys are the ones that are actually going to be. Reese, yes?
Out and in character, did we discuss destroying the idol?
Lynn really wanted to. Nobody else
You have
did.
not actually discussed doing that, no.
Well,
We briefly talked
it
about
was
it.
brought up.
Yeah, Lynn kept advocating it very.
But I don't think there's
Mark
been an
was very
actual
good.
discussion about like, hey, we should do it, and here's how we do it.
I think the main thing was that it was A, we don't know if we want to destroy it because it represents something good, but also
Yes.
Sigurd.
take a point of inspiration. Sigurd basically said like, yeah, you guys know the Mornlands were made by a giant magical explosion. And
Yes.
It may have been from
Oh.
exactly that.
Yeah.
So let's not just like hit it with a hammer.
No,
Okay.
absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
Satisfied.
Yeah.
That said, there's a very good argument to be made for no, we should give this to the authorities, or we should try and like throw it to the bottom of the ocean, or whatever.
Lynn's on bottom of ocean.
Colette is bringing this to the table. You guys can bring whatever it is that you want to the table.
I still vote we look for a way to destroy it. We may need to store it in the meantime, but this is too dangerous to continue existing.
And like I said before, it's too important to just destroy. And it could be the only way for the future for the Warforged.
It's at the cost.
Huh?
Yeah, well, I
What?
mean,
So, like, even if this,
Was that in character or out of character? What?
Yes.
if this is the only way there can be more Warforged is through sacrificing souls, I don't think we can.
Again, it's like I said before, it's not necessarily a sacrifice. I mean, what about patients on death's bed or something? Those who are going to pass anyway.
like, well, I can't.
Yeah, but it's not theirs. I've never heard of a Warforged remembering the time
Let's
before.
not kid ourselves here. I mean, we're the same, right? I mean, the reason why we have food and beds is because our lives are built on the back of other people's labor. I mean, yeah, I don't super like this soul transfer business either, but the Warforged are people. They're part of our society. We can't just take something away from them because it makes us scared.
Right?
This is more than taking people's labor. This is their souls.
Is it? I saw a lot of people die on the battlefield because they had no option but to fight for this country. And that's why you're all sitting at this table right now. Because of my friend and his friends who died, some of whom had nowhere else to go. So yeah, we can all feel great about ourselves that we weren't created by somebody's soul disappearing, but we're talking about Sharn, we're talking about a capitalist society. We're all of our lives are built on something that was sacrificed for somebody else. And I'm not saying that Ark or anyone else has the right to take a soul, but I am saying that we don't necessarily get to pick what's right for an entire race of people that, by the way, we created and sent out there.
Even putting aside like great ethical concerns about what should be done with it, even if we assume that nothing should be done with it, like I think the sort of battlefield of today would indicate until we know for certain that we're never going to run into like I think I said this last time, until we're sure for certain that we'll never run into another one of these, we should at least have this somewhere where we know where it is, so that if we have to figure out how to destroy it or how to counteract it, that we have one that people can study further.
I'm voting. I would love us to understand it more and figure out how to counter it and destroy it. And if we have that knowledge from this, that's great.
On that note, you made an interesting point about how Warforged don't remember anything about a past life.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to try as not humane, but just inappropriate, train a rat in a certain way and then have it transfer into a new corpse and see if it remembers.
It seemed to remember it was a rat.
Remember that much.
Or knew
I
that
mean,
it was a rat, or acted like a rat.
It inhabited a rat's body and performed as expected.
From what I can tell, except Sigurd, these things seem to gravitate towards something that most closely resembles what it was that they occupied within their lives. If you had a dead warforged and a live rat, and you brought the rat to an untimely end, I'm not quite certain it would treat the Warforged shell as an appropriate host. Of course, if you were standing next to it,
Well, not likely.
I'll just leave that hanging out there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You do that.
Cool. Thanks, Sigurd. That was creepy. Thank you. Listen, I agree. This is clearly when I put this team together, this is far above and beyond any kind of understanding of what I thought that it was that we would be dealing with. I thought this was going to be like, it's a big sword, but it's not. It's what we have in front of us, and I think that it'd be great if we knew how to destroy it if we need to, particularly if we can figure out a way that does it that doesn't create Mournland 2, the sequel to Mournland.
Right.
It'd be a good thing to not do.
I'll concede to these safety
Yes.
concerns. We don't want to have another giant city explosion.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Keeping it someplace where
Yeah.
no one will be able to look for it for now, seems like.
Yes, that's where I'm coming from, really. It's that we know that there's at least 2 interested parties out there that, if they knew where it was, would come knock down the door and try and take it. I don't think this building is the place to keep it.
I agree.
The bank vault is the best place that I can think of to put it.
I agree. Until we've figured out what's going on with these other groups, it's not even safe to study it.
Okay. In which case, we're going to get into the bank. We need to get into the vaults. Now, the vaults they have boxes. Boxes of varying levels of security that private citizens and organizations can take. They lease them out, basically, and once you have one of them, you can go in and put whatever it is that you want in the box. We need some way to get in there. We need someone that is rich enough to have one of these things, but that wouldn't draw enough attention in order to get in. I have a couple of ideas, but we need...
If we're going to possibly be able to just have a box, why not just buy a box and store it?
That's not a bad idea for the long term, but you'd go on a register, and whatever it is that's in the box would also go on a register. And the process of getting a box requires character witnesses and a certain amount of deposit and a lot of time for clearance.
They actually track what's in the boxes. They don't do the discrete thing of...
They do at least some sort of check to make sure that you're not putting a literal bomb inside.
Fair.
And I think that what we have, while not necessarily immediately explosive, probably fits within the hazard category.
It'd certainly
He's
raise
a-
an eyebrow if I was in charge of security.
Right.
Here's a quick question though: How do we guarantee they aren't gonna just find this box and try and lease it out to someone else and then find the artifact?
That's the second part of it. So we'd need someone that has access to one of these boxes, probably one of the smaller, lower security ones. I've got a couple of ideas of who we could impersonate in order to get in. But we'd need them to basically smuggle the rest of you in. Now, they're not just going to let a swarm of 6 adventurers in. I've got a couple of ideas. Actually, out of character, do we remember what Reese named the rats? I can't
I
remember.
don't remember.
Was it like Marvin Jr.?
Was it Marvin? I remember that.
Yeah.
Jermaine?
It may have been Jermaine.
I don't think it was
Jermaine
I don't
and
think it was Eddie.
Garvis.
I did not.
All right, well, Colette just gestures at the rats. Actually, these little fellows sort of gave me the idea. I think that if whoever it is that's coming in is eccentric enough, the sort of person that might have multiple small animals with them in some sort of a capacity, we might be able to get you in that way.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
my
I
goodness.
follow.
Into vermin.
I like
so that
this
we can
idea.
Crawl in.
Oh, you mean like when you turned into
Bork.
Oh, I miss when you were a dog.
That was really good. That was really good.
Once you're in, we need to deactivate the sensors to make sure that they don't realize that several small dogs or weasels or whatever are transforming into adventurers. Once you're there, you'd have to figure out some way to get into the high security area. And the high security area is where they have the big dogs, all of you are regular sized donors. The really important clients. But not all of these are used. In particular, the Dragonmark houses each have a vault in there. But practically none of them trust the other, much less House Kundarak. So a lot of them go unused. Stands to reason that we might be able to hide something away in there with the reasonable expectation that no one would open it.
Could we false bottom it either way?
Absolutely.
Do we have access to what these look like beforehand so we could build something up for that?
I can see what I can do.
Yeah, I would love the schematics for that.
Schematics might be a bit much, but I might be able to get you at least verbal description. Or if anything, maybe some sort of a disguise for the idol itself, so that if someone does find it, they find it at something relatively nondescript.
Oh yeah.
So somebody carries us in as vermin. You might be
Can't one of us go as
My
a
little
bodyguard?
children.
I mean, surely they allow one bodyguard.
I think
right?
one bodyguard will be acceptable.
Yeah. That's
But
It's like, well, which one of us will that be?
that or like a spouse could work.
No, bodyguard. Bodyguard will be perfect.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to
Very
impose.
comfortable being vermin.
And honestly, given recent events, it may not be wise to, my brain. My apologies.
It's okay, Farran. This is a lot for all
Like
of us.
I have complete trust in Maddie's abilities as a bodyguard, but what I don't necessarily trust right at this moment is the effects that magical transformation might have in light of recent events, such as the sudden appearance of a halo and a unicorn.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Oh boy, that's. These are all very good points.
Does Colette know about that?
She does
Now
now.
she does.
Yeah, we have one, Maddie.
It's not my fault.
Sure as hell didn't ask for it.
Medevra, have you experienced some degree of mutation recently?
Mutation? I'm not. Oh,
Well, like conduit.
I'm using all these fancy words.
Are you an avatar? Have you turned into an avatar?
What did I just say about not
That's
using
actually
fancy
pretty
words?
It's out there.
All right, that's 6 letters.
Warm.
Are you
Well, 6 letters ain't the problem. I just never heard
a
of
god?
Remember, if
Someone
someone
asks
asks if you're a god, you say yes.
it. I'm pretty sure the answer to that one's no.
All right.
But I
Then
can't
die.
deny that something seems to have gone a little oddball with. Well, I mean, I was trained by the shields. It's-
Staring at that banner.
Yeah.
You made a unicorn if you had to know.
I was just trying to curse at him. I didn't. Look. So
Yeah,
the
we
shield
shouldn't make her
teaches you-
mad.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, call.
Again, you're the ones conducting the operation. I will leave it to you to decide who has the best chances of getting in subtly and without drawing too much attention. As far as the point person for the actual infiltration, I'm guessing that perhaps one of our more disguise or impersonation inclined members might be most suited for that. Certainly there are plenty of people that would fit the bill, but in this particular instance, I'm going to recommend Lady Chandra. Lady Chandra was an actress of much repute years and years and years ago. She's still around and she's still got tons of money, and she certainly has a lockbox. But she also hides in her apartment all day, and she's very old. So her showing up is not a question, but also no one's bound to really wonder why it is that she's here or what she's doing once she leaves.
Well, not to be indelicate, but if she's old, isn't it possible that if the worst case happened, she might, pass away, and then people start looking into her things all of a sudden, like?
Well, we aren't
Oh,
going to
we
be
won't
putting
put it
her
in.
thing.
We won't power box.
Oh, I
Exactly.
see. I understand. Sorry.
We're just going to use her credentials to get in. And to that point, we are going to use her. Whoever it is that we're going to use, we need their identification papers. Alter self isn't going to be a big deal. Actual disguises, I am confident that you can get through. The identification papers must be authentic. No kind of forgery is going to pass Kundarak's analysis.
I hope I do.
I'm pretty good at forgery, but I still don't get to use it. No.
You can. This will unfortunately go above and beyond a simple forgery. Identification papers are basically passports with magical identification taped into them.
There's like a floating 3D model of the person with a
Yeah.
special spell, and
And a fingerprint
yeah.
and their DNA.
Oh, well.
What's a dinner?
It's like a snake.
Thought I at least knew all 3-letter words.
Anyway,
So do you have the means for us to get these papers, or is that up to us?
that'll be up to you. But
Score number 1.
hopefully, well, hopefully that doesn't turn into an all-day
Okay.
score. Hopefully that will conduct. What my intention is, this is me talking, not Colette talking.
Yeah.
Although maybe Colette's talking too. Is that this is a downtime activity that someone can go and try and steal something from an old lady. Which isn't to say that old ladies can't defend themselves. Certainly they could, but that's what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah.
Secondly, as far as the plot for smuggling everyone in incognito, I have a line on someone that can provide us with the artillery necessary, but I'll need one of you to make the connection. That will be, and she seems like there's a word in her throat that she, like it's physically painful. It's almost like she's been geased or something like that, and she's just like, his name is Charisma the Magnificent.
Oh!
He's awful, but he gets the job done.
Worst name. Who's this person?
He's
It's a great name. Oh, but he's really charismatic.
he's a sorcerer that specializes in putting together special order magical items for situations just like this. He's who I got the ring from for the train operation.
I remember that.
Okay.
That did work.
Anyway, the last thing will be to sort of do some prep work, sussing out perhaps which of the dragon-marked houses might make the best culprit as far as dropping off a idol of necromantic soul transference and hoping that they never see it. Plus, doing whatever it is you think appropriate to put the thing together in some kind of a disguise to make sure that no one
Oh, I
gets
stole your plans.
takes much notice of it.
Do you think your house uses their vault in the bank any?
Well, I could try and find out, but it would be hard to not be suspicious about it.
That would probably be best though, because then we at least have a house. If we have a fallback, if something goes wrong, we can claim it.
You
If
actually
they
are
find
of that
something.
house. That certainly would help if it could work.
Better chance of getting it back if something goes wrong.
Yeah, things with Reese and his family have been extremely reliable so far.
I mean, I don't dispute that, but
You know what?
The airship
I-
crashed and we all almost died.
Yeah.
I think
but it sounds like they don't even care about these house vaults. They
I'm-
treat them like nothing.
we should definitely look into it, but I may have just thought up a triple threat idea.
Ooh.
If we, because one of the things we brought up was the possibility of actually disguising the statue itself. Also, the person we're impersonating was an actress, correct?
Indeed.
So if we disguise it as something that's either a prop or like an award for a theatrical production, we can hide it in the house. What is this, Farran?
Yes.
Which is for song, dance, theater, storytelling, so that it wouldn't seem out of place necessarily to be there if anyone was looking around. Or that's like, oh, that's some theater thing.
That's Bob's
Yeah.
Benny? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Bob's Benny.
Couldn't case it.
So it would look appropriate going in, and it would look appropriate staying way in.
I like this idea. That's brilliant.
I mean, it's just a statuette. You could put another one around it.
And we could make a mock up of a few more maybe that would be said.
Well, if you're going to be paying a visit on Lady Chandra anyway, perhaps you could get a look at what she's got to use as a model.
Perfect.
Yes.
Not a bad idea.
Take a point of inspiration, Farran.
That's yeah.
Thanks, Colette.
Any questions?
Is Ark just gonna be a mecha dog?
Or
It's gonna be like a Secret of Evermore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who gets the
Take a point of
I was
Evermore.
thinking Canine from Doctor Who.
I haven't watched.
Oh
the
my god,
show.
there's a little robot dog and he's got like a little satellite dish.
Although
for a tail.
Bowser from Cops was very good. Did anyone else watch Cops?
No?
They're fighting crime in a future time.
It was very good. It was like G.I. Joe, but they're cops.
Wow.
It was really good.
I never really watched that show. I just.
Is it really good or was it Boss Baby good?
Ah.
So extremely good.
Extremely good is what I'm hearing.
It's just, so once we get inside the vault and we unwrap ourselves, we're basically just trying to take out any sort of security signals, stash the thing, and get out, right?
Yes, but you need to get into the high security area before you do. And what stands in between the only reasonable security and the really, really tough security, I'm not sure.
Right.
And to be honest, I don't think I'm going to be able to get you that information.
All right. So basically, we just get in and then wing it.
I mean, that is what I pay you for.
Right. That was just clarifying.
It sounds like complaining.
Look,
I can never tell with you.
a lot worse shit has happened to me in the last few months than that. I don't give a shit what the security's like. I just wanted to make sure I was clear on my role.
Yes, that is. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, you know where to find me. The sooner we get this done, the better. Good luck.
Thanks. I need to go get by.
Yeah, I've gotta take care of some stuff.
Everyone just puts.
Now remember, we got those dogs looking for us.
The-
Just gonna go out
oh,
by yourself?
I mean, I was going to.
And how likely do you think you come back from that when the dog shows up? They move. I don't think you can talk your way out of something with one of them either.
Hey, would you like some company tonight?
I mean, I guess it only takes one, but do we know that Joe has one?
Well, he still has one, so unfortunately it got
All that
away.
matters.
Yeah.
One's enough.
I mean, also remember when they broke all of Reese's fingers.
I do.
Cut away. Or better yet, that comic like top of the frame thing, like that happened in issue 8. Editor.
I mean, you know, again, we got him fixed up, but I'm not gonna be much good to you shooting.
Sober.
Most of you could probably, most of you, if you weren't trapped in his, his hideout already, could probably get away from, just normal goons. But the dog's what worries me. I can't be everywhere at once.
All right. so
Ix and I are
buddy
gonna,
system.
yeah, Ix
Pair
and I
up.
will pair up.
Pair up should be enough.
Hey, so I'm going out tonight.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So, what are you doing?
So, old lady impersonation, huh?
Yeah, I'm. Do you
Flip a coin.
you
You wanna
know?
just take it?
I like
Go for
I
it.
I was kind of all about it, but if you wanna we
Tag team it? One's the bottom, one's the top.
could
Oh, Muppet
polymorph
Man.
we could polymorph into gnomes and then get a trench coat.
There you go.
No, you could polymorph into 6 weasels. And then get a trench coat.
Even better.
an appointment.
Oh, that's more of a gnome voice than a weasel voice.
Yeah.
Kirby, what does a weasel sound like? Perfect.
That was on point. That was really good.
Yes, sir.
Take a
Can
point
I
of
get you, can I get you some
inspiration.
coffee, sir?
Yeah,
Please.
Your safety deposit box is right this way.
I apologize for his rude behavior, Sir Barrington.
Would you like to try and acquire her paperwork and then I can okay, yeah, we can think so a little bit.
Well, okay. Before we break, who's gonna go talk to?
Actress lady?
Charisma.
Oh,
Don't say it.
Oh, sorry.
Charisma the charismatic.
Hell yeah.
The magnificent.
Okay, the magnificent charisma.
He might catch on fire if I talk to him. Probably should be somebody else.
Fair. Baron?
I'm not
Arc?
so sure.
Well,
sounds
you're busy
awesome to
anyway.
me. I don't know. Everyone's so.
Me
Actually,
and Baby Doll do it. You guys rob an old lady.
What were we talking to Charisma again about?
He
You're
has
getting supplies
yes.
just so we can be turned into vermin.
Yeah.
Like those of us who are.
Actually, I should probably go because I don't know how to.
operate.
Oh.
this
That is
event.
actually
Yeah, actually,
true.
that's a very good
Well, and I
point.
could also ask him about anything that might be helpful.
Remember
And you unironically actually really like his name, so I think
Yeah.
that like you are the perfect person.
Remember
for
when
that.
Use Magic Device was a thing?
Oh my god.
Those are the days.
Yeah. Remember when
Rough
classes
days.
had different XP curves?
Yeah.
Remember when you can only have a certain number of druids in a certain
Oh
geological
yes.
area?
Yes,
Oh
I do
my
remember
God.
that. It's like broken out by level too.
It
like
was,
you have
yeah.
4 9th level ones, you could have 2 10th level, and only 1 11th level or
It
something
was
like that.
really impressive.
A law
and
of
be
conservation of druids.
Basically, yes.
So
like
do
one
they,
guy
like,
would
powers
get a
not
level
work?
up, and the other guy's like, "Fuck,
No,
I gotta
no,
move."
no, you were stuck until you basically
Until you got
resolved that-
voted in.
Yeah, and basically until that was resolved, you were stuck at the previous level minus 1 experience.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
It was very bad.
There's a lot.
But it was
a lot of
hilarious.
D&D
Yeah,
was-
That seems like that would lead to a lot of druid on druid violence.
Yes!
Probably exactly what happened.
Oh no.
Remember when character sheets used to have 6 or 7 blank use skill spaces that were basically useless
Oh,
and didn't do anything?
I did not like
You
that.
could invent new skills to put in them, or add skills from later modules for
It
it.
had like certain vocations, but they were like.
Okay, so Ark and who else are going to meet with charisma? Yes. Who
The
is...
most charismatic pair in the group.
Yep.
Yes. Who is going to pursue the Lady Chandra? Okay.
I guess
Now-
I should go because I'm stealthy.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Keep an eye out.
Sure,
Allegedly.
Yeah.
If you supposedly need to break into a house, I'm supposed to.
Flash cut to Lady Chandra running.
Get
from a
back
bunch
here
of
when you
ghosts.
can. Hey,
I was thinking just to be going through the window. Like I just imagine it just says, "We'll be right back."
Pardon our dust.
well, get back here. We got something to do today.
Oh, right. Okay.
Lynn and Maddie, do you want to get supplies in order to mock up one of the trophies based
Yeah,
on
yeah.
what they've got coming back from Lady Chandra's?
That could work.
Okay. Cool. Let's go. So, Ix and Ark. I switch to music first. Should really get like a board that I could just use here.
P.S. Having not done her stress relief yet, X is still in wretched condition.
Oh,
going
Yeah,
into
actually,
this.
I
Just
thought
so
we
we're
were
all
gonna do
clear.
the stress relief
Yeah.
first.
Whatever's fine with me.
Like Ix and I were like right about to go out the door and like.
Just
"Ah."
fucking roll with it, man.
You could, make a stop. Like, Maddie, hang out here for like 30 minutes. I gotta get some teeth pulled. By
I'm
Harris
gonna go.
at the
Don't
bar.
look at what's going on here. Just ignore all the sounds you hear, and yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm assuming we'll do that once we've finished all the plots. that
As you
we're-
like, you guys can do whatever it is that you want, but assuming that you are headed to charisma. Is Polo trying to get some food?
Yeah.
What a good dog.
Scraps. Polo, your neck is bulked enough. You don't need any more protein.
So, word on the street is that this fellow, Charisma the Magnificent, as he is known, has his hideaway in the depths. You work your way into the more unseemly corners of Sharn, descending deeper and deeper.
Well, as we're sort of like walking, Nix will just like she'll sort of have a hand on Mark's shoulder and just be like, "Look, everyone's just scared. Okay, I know you guys already went through this stuff, and I don't know what's gonna happen with any of this stuff we talked about around the table, but they're just scared. It's just a scary thing
Yeah,
to people."
I mean, to be fair, we don't even know that it is necessarily going to work for Warforged. It may just work for smaller things like those rats.
Yeah, we have no idea, but do have a right to know, so I'm gonna do my best to stick up for that. I mean, I'm not exactly the one with the most pull around here, and I'm still really high. But I don't know. I just want you to know I clear your corner, all right?
Thanks, appreciate that.
Yeah. Anyway, hunch your shoulders and keep walking. Funk.
You find yourself in front of sort of a dead end, almost sort of a cul-de-sac all on its own. that is draped in banners. He has all of these exotic tapestries hung from little bits of masonry. There's falling down buildings all around you. But someone has very clearly like built a frame out of whatever it is they could find and almost turned it into like a private sort of medieval villa.
Magnificent.
Yeah,
Give me a perception check for the both of you.
I wish Maddie was here so she could learn the word ostentatious.
Turns out it's the little house next door.
Oh, I'm so fucked up, man. 7.
7.
13.
13.
Unless Cub gets.
Of course.
Okay.
Nice.
Cub is
Cub
also
is so high. Yeah.
7.
Okay. Cub's a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
However, Ark, you do notice something oddly familiar. Sort of mixed in. So what there is there's lots and lots of. It almost looks like someone just went to a thrift store and just found like old leftover heraldry and stuff like that. Just threw up whatever it is that is there. Like there's a sign for the blood of Vol sitting next to the silver flame, and those two should probably not be there. But someone just thought they looked cool, so they're there.
Oh, someone's made a goodwill.
But mixed. Wait, what is it they call it in Sharn? They call it the lawful goodwill. Yes.
Damn.
I just thought of that.
That was clever.
Take a point of inspiration, Brendan. Ark, you spot something oddly familiar in this sort of potpourri of sigils and signs. You spot the company banner for your old unit from the last war.
That's the.
Oh yeah, it's like
That's what I served.
Oh, it's yours?
Yeah.
You absolutely recognize it as soon as he points it out. It's for a particular Brellish Warforged magical unit.
Huh.
Cool.
That's odd.
I wonder if our units ever cross paths.
Huh. I don't know if this person just collected these things or if they have some kind of ties or something.
There's an odd rumble from up above. It almost sounds like thunder. But actually you're deep enough in the city that rain shouldn't matter. Like there's enough layers of city and bridges that the odds of any rain actually hitting you is pretty low. But actually it doesn't quite sound like thunder. It's kind of tinny. It's almost like pre-recorded thunder. And yet, even as you look up and you catch the whiff of rain, which again feels like artificial, there's sort of this swirl. There's almost like a dust devil sort of contained, and Cov sort of cowers on your shoulder, not sure what strange phenomena is taking place. And all at once there's a
It's sort of like takes cover behind Ark.
there's a boom and a whoosh of foul sulfuric smelling smoke as this enormously tall warforged draped in multicolored robes with a terrific crimson cloak streaming out behind him and arms crossed. He looks nothing so much as a gigantic metal genie. And as soon as he sees you, spreads his arms wide and says, "I am Charisma!"
Indeed you are.
Takes a lead out from behind. Hey, I'm X. What is that? What are...
Ark here. Your charisma.
Arc O2A, it has been too long.
Do I recognize charisma?
Yes.
Give me an investigation check.
Oh, good.
Oh
no.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Where is that? Up there. 11?
No. But that's okay, because he's going to tell you who it is. Arc O2A, do you not recognize the newly reborn form of Ka 06X? I have risen like the ancient phoenix, like the dragons of Arganessen, like the chosen of the prophecy. From the fires and ashes of the last war, I have come here to sell magical items.
Does Ark recognize this?
Absolutely you do
Okay.
now.
I have to roll again.
He didn't. There wasn't
They
the
look
ego
different.
back then,
Yeah.
but Yes.
I'm gonna guess they look a little different, maybe a little.
Yes, he was
modified, too.
so Ka was a war wizard model,
Yeah.
basically a frontline lightning bolt slinger, who is apparently Doctor Strange now.
Well, that's great.
Steal the Infinity Stone.
That's good because we're here to provide magic.
It's been a long time. Yeah. Looks like you've been doing well.
I have traveled each and every realm of existence. I have been to distant Arcadia, to Gehenna, to Pandemonium itself. I have sat with the Slotty, the Githzerai, the Batazu, and Tanari. I have sipped of the abyssal tea. I have smelt the boreal forests of Mount Celestia. And I have returned here
Hasn't been that.
to sell magical items.
Takes out a few pills and sticks in their mouth.
Magnificent, indeed. Oh, wow.
You!
Oh, fuck. I was thinking about something else and you just scared the shit out of me.
You have a strange and mysterious aura about you.
Oh, yeah.
There's some sort of infernal legacy that clings to you, some manner of destiny from which you cannot escape.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You're on it. Yeah.
Of course I'm on it! I am Charisma! Down the street, you can sort of see like some neighbors like slamming their windows shut. They know it's like 1 p.m. and this always happens.
We hear someone going, not again.
Someone's throwing a soup can that they don't quite make it,
Yeah,
and it just lands in a big pile of soup cans halfway between here and there.
Free soup. I mean, okay. Yes, but I don't. You don't know anything else about my infernal legacy, do you?
He immediately steps too close, and he's like moving his metal hands, not like touching your scalp, but definitely moving them in like a crystal ball kind of motion.
Well, Charisma really knows what he's doing. He's got everything.
He's definitely got all the gestures.
Has all the things that you need.
A name you can trust.
Not since the destruction of Sire have I felt such devastating energy.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yes, I'm definitely getting a very bad aura from this.
Okay, yeah, you might know some stuff.
I must meditate on this.
Okay, well, before you do any meditating,
Right.
we actually are here to buy some magical.
He's like not even listening. He's already like crossed his legs, lotus position, is now hovering in place, and is like,
It's like slumps against you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna light a cigarette.
The Mind Palace.
No, Art, stop. Stop.
Oh, I should start taking notes.
Ix, you look up and he's gone.
No. We need.
I have discovered your intent. My prophetic powers, granted to me by Bahamut the Mighty. You are here.
It's all very fragile in here, so like, I need you to dial this down.
You're here in search of an item.
Yes. Yes, we are.
I knew it.
Incredible.
No, don't tell me.
Can't I just tell you I have a list?
I will. I will search the stars and the signs to determine what it is that has brought you to my doorstep. Here, in my sanctum sanctorum. He brings out some tarot cards and like starts levitating them in front of him.
Have you seen this?
I just don't want
He holds out a bunch of cards to you,
just don't want to jump out again.
and it's gone. Then he reaches behind your ear, and it's a mouse.
Oh,
Good. Christmas good.
no.
Ah, the mouse archon.
Oh, God.
Ix, give me a Constitution save.
Good. My strongest stat. 14.
You burp up a mouse.
What? No! No! Still no more wiggle hands. Nope. What do I do with this?
Give it back, I guess.
No! puts it, like, points it in the other direction.
Feel urged to use the restroom.
No. We're here to buy some stuff.
Tell me what it is that you seek, traveler.
Like, unfolds like a crinkly piece of paper. What do we need? Colette.
I think if
Wand
you
of polymorph.
yes,
Yeah.
wand of polymorph with the specific intent of small creature of some kind.
Right.
The special ordered nature of it makes it actually easier to deliver because he only has to worry about polymorphing you into a certain thing rather than anything. Not that that's out of the capability of charisma.
Yeah, so just this wand of polymorph, focus on smaller creatures. I guess just one that like charges.
Yeah, probably at least.
You'd need charges to get in and
10
out.
charges at least, probably. In and out.
We can just reduce our HP. to
Yeah, 10. 10. That's what I stopped listening. She said something. 10 charges.
This is within my capabilities.
Good.
I can deliver this to you the same time tomorrow.
Okay.
6 coin.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And did Colette give us money
No.
with which to buy this?
No.
6 coin.
6 coin. That's such a higher number than what I have.
Yeah, the payment tomorrow on delivery goods, right? Yeah.
Half now, I think.
Group stash has 3.
Yeah, I said we don't have that on us.
Well, I
You
mean, we
could- you
could
could
flashback
have,
it.
yeah.
Okay. Then that'll be it. Because I actually have no coin on me.
You have 0?
I have
Daddy's
Yeah.
broke.
I spent mine on armor actually.
Alright, we have used our 3 group stash and I've dropped to 0 group stash.
Okay, so we need 3 more to finish.
I mean, you could give Colette a bill if you
Yeah,
really
sure.
felt like
Yeah.
You probably feel like it.
Are we good now? Do you guys need to do any reminiscing?
I mean, we should get a drink sometime or something. Give me some coins.
I sustain myself simply on the ambrosia of the gods, on the knowledge of the astral plane. But I like my whiskey neat.
Good.
And
Great.
I like my ale strong.
So we'll see you tomorrow. Yes. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, we should both.
backing up slowly.
Anyway, we should get in contact sometime. Maybe give me a few pointers too. I've been doing a lot of work with magical accoutrements.
Yes, that sounds great. Anyway, pleasure to see you. He reaches out a hand, clasps yours.
Mouse.
Yeah.
Wait, is it like class?
No. There's no mouse there.
Yeah.
But you totally expected there to be. That's the trick.
It's just like
Illusion.
Alright, Ark,
Maybe it's an invisible mouse.
let's go.
No, it's not an invisible mouse. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
It's just broken into a
She's
sprint.
gonna like keep an eye on him as she backs up for like a ways down the hallway. Oh fuck.
That's quite the experience.
Oh, that was too much for me.
Lynn and Maddie. You are so you're after, I think, what is it that we want to stage this as? I guess you want
Supplies for duplicating some award that Lady Chandra?
Chandra.
So I was thinking we have the Actors Guild that Lynn's joined.
Yeah,
They may
that's
have
true.
a trophy case, so she
Absolutely.
could also get a good look at those and
Yeah.
sort of see what they're made of.
So do you guys want to just go there and sort of play that out?
Sound reasonable?
Sure. Cool. All right, you begin making your way to the central plateau where the establishment awaits.
Is there a show going on tonight, or is it?
Is there a show going on tonight?
Or are they
I
in
don't-
like rehearsals and stuff still?
I think that you haven't had much of a chance to spend too much time there. Remember that she wanted to create art. She wants to create some degree of show that no one's ever quite seen before. And so I think when you arrive, the lady is simply still the only person really there, and she's scribbling away. She's scribbling. She looks up and she's like, ah. You, yes, good.
Yes, me.
Rin?
Yeah, I forgot what name I gave her. Like out of out of character, I forgot what name I gave her. But I probably gave her a fake name.
What name? Just come up with one.
Karen.
Karen.
There we go.
Karen! Charisma! Ah! Karen, yes. Are you here to audition?
No, I'm just a friend.
Would you like to audition?
You should. I think you'd be really good at this.
Very good at.
Please, I beg of you, even if you leave this theater and never do it again, it will be a period of growth for you, and it will possibly be, more importantly, a muse for me. A way for me to learn from other people's experiences, other people's behaviors. Many times I'm surrounded by professional actors. It's actually refreshing to see what laypersons might be capable of.
Sure, but I really don't have any idea what to do.
Are you familiar with?
Oh, I was going to say, actually, do you mind if we take a brief moment to prepare? We could just step in the back for a moment,
sounds
talk
like a
things
good
over,
idea.
and then
That sounds like
she can
like
come
a
up
good
with something to
idea.
present.
Yes, certainly. Exercises, please.
Yes,
Go right ahead.
absolutely. Well, I'll try and do my best to inspire her.
Yes, yes. Lion face, lemon face.
There you go. Exactly. Right. We'll take her towards the back,
Yep.
which hopefully they have like a little.
Oh, absolutely. It's a theater in the round, so it's really easy to just like hop up on the stage and head inside.
All right. Yeah. So we do so.
She
and
sits back down in the audience.
What the hell you got me into?
You have given me the perfect excuse for us to wander back, and I would like to thank you for your cooperation on this matter.
Does that mean we're leaving without doing this whole acting thing?
Oh my, no! I'm actually. I need to have a continued presence here. Unfortunately, these people have proven to be very valuable contacts for me in the past. So they may also prove to be very valuable contacts for you. And this may be. When she suggested it, it struck me that this is actually a really good exercise for you. And as I'm saying all this, we're walking towards a trophy case, and as we get there,
Yes, of course.
I sort of like poke at the lock. It's not a good lock. I sort of like, oh, okay. This is the local theater award. I show it to you as well. You could win one of these if you're able to get your performances up to a high enough point. So I think that we can really do something with this.
We can make a copy of it. That's what we can
Absolutely.
do.
And then I actually don't want to disappoint the girl out there, so I
Lady
really.
Sabra.
I'm sorry?
Lady Sabra.
Lady
You
Sabra.
mean I actually have to do good at this thing?
No. The entire point of the setup is you just have to do this thing. That, I think, would be welcome. So this is one of those fine moments where failure is success, and you just have to do something. And I think that that's going to be good for you. And so I make a few notes of the dimensions of the statue, draw up a rough sketch, and then put that away.
Perfect.
And then, come up with I think that you could possibly tell a story of an interesting time in your life. Just something that you can bring some emotion out in.
A story.
Yeah. A true. Yeah.
Remember that time when I stabbed a guy in an alley while wearing a mask?
Well, look, most of the stories I got.
Relock the case and stuff and start walking back towards the front.
Wait, we ain't going back yet. I ain't ready yet.
Oh, darling, I believe that as soon as you reach the stage, inspiration's going to strike.
Well, something's gonna strike. I'm starting to get stressed out here.
I imagine there's a lot of shoving.
Oh, I'm making such a good friend today. So we get near the front door, and before I actually shove her, I'm like, okay, so.
You really got to do this.
I think so, and I think it's good for you. Just what's something that happened in your life that. Have you ever told a story at a party before? Have you ever been to a party before? Have you,
Not the kind where they tell stories.
how about a job interview? You've done job interviews, right? When you're.
Well, I mean, I had a letter to get me into the Shields. There wasn't really much of an interview.
Not much of an interview. You didn't prepare at all for if somebody asked you like.
Well, what I need to prepare for, I knew how to use a sword.
Fair. What would you say your greatest accomplishment is?
Set that guy on fire one time.
There was that time that we all didn't die on that airship.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I think Lady Sabra calls out from the audience. Curtains up, let's see it. And action.
Hold on, I need to make a wisdom save. That's a 13.
Yeah.
Manages to at least not immediately die back behind.
You're not frightened, save ends.
Oh, actually, I cast heroism on her before I sent her out.
Aww. Pretty good. There, now you definitely won't
You're
feel
immune to
chance.
fear effects for the duration.
Yeah. But I may still poison you.
She kind of walks out pretty hesitantly, even though she's not afraid.
The spotlight continues to follow.
She's not afraid, but she definitely doesn't know what quite to do with herself at all. This preparation was not very much help, as it turns out. She
I
kind
like to teach people to swim by just shoving them into an ocean, and
A rough
them
turbulent-
drown.
Yeah.
I'm not a good teacher.
And sometimes there's a pirate ship there. And
she
Rough turbulent.
slowly kind of makes her way to the center of the stage and then turns to face the audience, which she is devoutly thankful is an audience of no more than 2. I assume it's
Yes.
no more than 2, right?
It's.
Oh, Lynn's emptying the
You
register in the
would
back.
expect not, but on the other hand, the light is quite bright, so you can't really see very clearly out there. You assume it's just Lady Sabra, but
Well, you said you wanted to see a layperson get up here and do what they could as far as acting goes. That's what you're gonna get. I mean, a friend there suggested tell a story. I don't know if most of the stories I got would be anything fit for repeating. It's probably the worst approach ever, but I guess I'll just tell you a little about myself and where I came from. There was a big war, everybody knows that. Some people I know now fought in it. My parents went off to fight in it, both of them. Never saw either of them again. Village we were from. You know, they conscripted most of the people who knew how to fight, right? I mean, it's what you do in a war, and especially when it's going on too damn long. You just conscript everybody. Everybody can pick up a sword. Alright? You do that. Except there are people who don't play by the rules, right? You got bandits and things. You don't conscript them, they don't report for conscription. But then you got a bunch of villages full of old people, too old to fight, young people never learn how. Gotta do something. So, you train the young people as best you can, you get the old people to do what little they can, you know. Don't have to be that young to use a crossbow half decent. Much rather that can be fun. But mostly speaking, you can make it work out, but it's not pleasant. We got that town to a point where it could defend itself somewhat. But, funny thing, start gathering power like that, you start getting people interested in their own personal power, learning how to fight and stuff. Some of them don't turn out so great. They start wanting to use that power for other things, and the bandits don't come around anymore. That's how, before I even realized it was in a gang, Didn't start as that, the whole idea was, hey, we're helping defend, we need to get some weapons and stuff. And that's expensive because the war's on, so hey, we've got to chip in, right? And some people could chip in more than others, and some people who could chip in more didn't. That's kind of how those things usually go. You've got good people and you got people. But eventually we started getting a little less patient with the ones who weren't chipping in. And that's kind of, I think, when we started slipping from being kind of an unofficial town guard to turning into a gang. Wasn't so bad when the original old fella who was in charge was running. Remember, there was an old glass blower in town. Now, the war on, nobody was buying fancy glass anymore. It was beautiful stuff. Don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to undermine it, but no one was buying it anymore. I mean, he was an old man. He, didn't have a lot, and no one expected him to give anything. I mean, he had a lot of valuable glass, but no one's buying it. You can't fight with it. So, at least while the original leader was around, we let him go. Then he passed away and his son took over. That's when things went from kind of sort of bad to a hell of a lot worse. They burned down that old man's house. Him still in it. He wouldn't pay. Couldn't pay. What was he going to pay with a bunch of glass nobody wanted? beautiful. I wonder sometimes if I can find a piece that he sold before that happened. Before the war, they tell me it was sold everywhere. You know, people come all over to buy it, but nobody was traveling to buy glass back then. It was probably going on too long, but bringing a long story to maybe only being a medium-sized story, I eventually realized what I was doing wasn't right, and I was trying to figure a way out of it, but I was just one woman, not one girl back then, really. And didn't see a way out. Finally, the war ended. Well, that was good. Wish it ended sooner. And of course, Kingdom started trying to put itself back to rights, trying to catch up on things. Hey, why isn't this village sending any taxes over anymore? So they sent someone out to check on that. And he was a right bastard, and he was a crude son of a gun, but our new boss, he knew the score. He knew he needed to put on a good face if he wanted to keep running things, didn't want to end up with him, a bunch of his winging from trees. So he put on that good face, and I think it was working. He had enough of the town cowed where this woman they sent to investigate didn't know what she was walking into. At least she wasn't going to know till it was too late. In fact, I was the one tapped to kill her before she found out anything. They put her up in her room like you're supposed to, and all that. Sent me to do the thing. But I wasn't willing to do it anymore. It was one thing too far. I'd seen too many people who, really couldn't pay, not just ones holding out, but ones who couldn't pay. Now things got, at first we told us it was that things got bad enough, we even started robbing people ourselves. Said we needed the weapons for ourselves. Didn't worry about anyone else. After a while we were just robbing people to get things. Yet we were basically the bandits. I knew that, but finally I felt like I had maybe a way to deal with it, so went in there. Sword at her neck, but woke her up instead of killing her. Said, they sent me to kill you. You need to get out of here and deal with this. Just what we did.
The lights in the rest of the house come up, and you can hear Lynn clapping away, but Lady Savra's eyes are just wrenched. No. She's like legit. She's not sobbing. She is looking and studying and taking a ton of notes, but she is like legitimately moved, and she is like, I'm very happy you came in today.
I appreciate that.
I hope you'll come visit again. Thank you for sharing that with me. I think you've given me a lot to think about. Lynn, Karen. Lynn, I don't know your name is actually Lynn. Karen, when can I expect you back? We've got a lot of work to do.
Yes, no, this was amazing, and I know I feel inspired by it. I should be able to come back very soon.
Good. And if you got more like this, bring them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring mix. I have to come up with an excuse to try and get
Standing
Claire
on stage, barfs and passes out. Oh my god. I love postmodernism.
Beautiful.
A sympathetic Maddie stages a score to rescue Hicks from the theater.
Hey, I don't want to distract us too long, but have you ever played Suikoden 3?
No.
Yes.
So there's it's the whole thing is that you gather like 108.
Yeah.
Like it's like there's all these characters in it, but in Suikoden 3 there's a bunch of different little like things you can do in your castle, and one of them is putting on plays.
Yeah.
Where you get to assign people roles.
Yes.
So you can put people in who have no business being like there are multiple characters who are like the stoic type, and you can put both of them in, and they just walk out and stare at each other, and then walk away, and everyone's like, boo! Anyway, that's what it made me think of. Slotting Deborah in, like, maybe not. Anyway, sorry.
That's beautiful.
That was really good, Herbie.
Reese
Hold on.
and Farran.
Okay.
You arrive at a different section of the theater district.
So I was
Yes.
curious if we had pre-existing information on her, Or we could seek that out.
It's pretty easy to find out where she lives.
At least her theatrical
Yes.
activity, whether she still acts.
Lady Chandra hasn't performed in years. She's at least 80 or 90 years old at this point. But in her heyday, she was the darling of the stage. She has performed in countless best plays of the year. She is particularly well known for a number of romantic pieces that were done as sort of a counter, a wave of optimism that people were trying to do in the arts during the worst parts of the last war. And a lot of people that were living through that period sort of looked to pieces of art like the plays that she was in as sort of escapism from the horrors that were going on across Corvair at that time. So as part of kind of the generation ahead of yours, she's regarded as like one of the best actresses of all time, even though probably theater is a bit more sophisticated these days. Think of it kind of like a black and white film star. Yeah.
Okay. Is it reasonable to think that Reese could have like a couple of names of performances or?
Yes, absolutely. I think probably your dad had probably forced you to watch probably Arganesson Eternal is probably one of the best ones. Arganesson is the continent that the dragons live on.
Goodness.
And then there's maybe probably the most commonly known one in your generation is Hope Springs Eternal.
Everything's
What about
Bananas.
beans?
Bananas are very temporary.
No, I'm saying both of them have eternal in it.
Oh,
Arganesson,
that's
the
weird.
Eternal,
Yeah.
and Hope Springs.
How about? Well, why don't I rename? That's weird. I didn't mean to do that.
No, they
I just
all
love
have
that.
eternal.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, and then there's also the Eternal Vow. And
Well, I hope Reese is just making these up.
Was Lady Chandra what you might call a timeless beauty?
Eternal
like that,
Eternity,
yes.
I remember that one.
yeah, and Sorcerer Queen of Eternal Zendrick.
The Eternals.
Oh my goodness.
So, that was another thing. You could make the characters play out scenes from the other Suikoden games.
Aw.
Oh man.
That was very cute.
Oh,
That
now
is
I want to see.
cute.
Now I want to see that. Yeah.
Don't trick me into playing a Suikoden game. Yes.
They have some good qualities.
I
Oh,
really,
like Boss Baby.
Yeah.
I really like that second game. A
The
lot.
second game's one of my
I
favorites.
heard the
Yeah.
second one was
It's
very
super
good.
good. If you
Jeff?
accept the fact that it's garbage to play.
Jeff once designed an RPG based on Suikoden.
I did not design. I ran to completion.
Excuse
a
me.
Suikoden tabletop game.
That's almost
Nice.
better.
It was great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you make the tactical battles actually have good gameplay?
yeah. I made basically a mini board game.
Nice.
It was much like the ones in 2.
Yeah, because in 2 I remember like they explained to you the rules, but it's like for the
They're all
first
scripted.
for the first like 60% of the game, they take you to this whole other mode they designed, and then just everything just plays out like it's script, and then like there's 1 or 2 fights where you actually do the thing, and like one of them is hard because there's that guy in the black armor who just doesn't take damage. Yep.
Yep. I only played 3. So.
Huh. Anyway, now you have and she lives above an older theater that used to be a big deal, isn't so much these days, called the Ruby Dragon Theater.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
in terms of game plan, could you potentially because what we need is a documentation, right?
Yes, you're trying to get her identification papers.
Could you maybe engage her in conversation and I can try and sneak in
That's what
like
I
a
was
window?
thinking. Exactly. Precisely.
I'm super good at coming through windows, guys.
You always make it through.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not always an interview. We've yet to have you try to go through a window and be like, boom, and then fall over the ground.
Wait, give me some time.
At a certain point, I think that Farran really just needs to pick up whatever it is that Maddie has that gives her a climb speed.
Yeah,
Because
what
that
is that, by
that
the
would
way?
solve a
It's
lot
a
of
fighting
this.
style.
Oh.
Actually, there is a crew upgrade that gives everyone one fighting style of their choice.
Ooh.
Oh,
It takes
great!
a little
Then
while.
everyone can climb like ninjas.
That would be great, yes.
It does have some armor and weapon restrictions,
Oh.
which you would meet, but
Yeah, I do eventually get some nonsense of like you can run on water and
Yeah.
you can run up walls and stuff, but like I get that later when like my fists become magic. and that kind
Right.
of things. Which, yeah, we're not sure how high we'll get up there.
I could build a second cub. We could use the statue, and then you can have a climb speed.
No, just give him your feet, and then you can jump really good.
No, that works too. It'll be just soft my feet.
I left my attack boots in China.
This is my friend Brandon. All right, so you
I
have.
will never leave Eurasia alive.
You should look at the profile that I wrote for you on the character bios.
Oh boy.
I could tell. I was like, I don't know what this joke is, but it's a joke.
It definitely is. One that only me and Brandon will understand.
As all of your jokes, maybe.
It's true. Okay, so I assume you head to the Ruby Dragon Theater to
Yes.
engage this old woman in conversation.
Yes, indeed. And Reese has this kind of like big duffel bag thing strapped to his back as well.
Okay.
Just of note.
Okay, got it.
You should just straight up run one of those schemes they do on old people. Wow, your credit score is compromised. Do you have your
You have a
ID?
computer
oh
virus?
My God, yeah.
We're from the ID inspection bureau.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yours has been flagged
I was about to
for
say,
That's bad.
retrieval.
and essentially, I
Alright.
guess the one last thing I'll say
Yes.
is if you see the ID papers in, either on her person or in the, whatever area you are, contact me with the little stone imaging. Those things, you talk into them, but they don't make sound on the other end. I'm assuming you.
That is
just-
correct.
You do have to talk into them.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Although at some point maybe you should talk to Ark about just sort of a like what is that app that just lets you like notify someone? Like you don't say
Oh,
anything.
the, like, the one where you like just push a button and hold it down for X amount of
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Right, yeah. Where it's just like,
Talking about
yep.
life
Wait,
alert?
could you activate it and then just like blow on it and then everyone's like, why?
I mean, we could legit just come up with it.
Like or tapping, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
And then-
that's way beyond the level of our crew.
Yeah.
Okay, so you arrive at the theater. It's still sort of mid-afternoon, so there's not a whole lot of people there. And there's a stairway very clearly around the side that leads up to what you assume are her apartments.
Okay. Okay.
So you're going up to like just straight up knock on her door, I assume?
That's the idea.
Farran, where are you going?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and essentially find if there is like a back alleyway to climb up a wall to try
Sure.
to get to a window that may
So I think there's another stairway basically for the back entrance around the very back. So he's sort of coming in from the side and you're going around to the back. Knock knock.
Yeah. He's gonna disguise himself as generic NPC that looks similar age and gender.
That's not very good.
Uh,
Give me something better.
Okay, all right.
I'll tell you what. Give me one notable characteristic that is different from Reese. I'm gonna ask for that.
Dark hair. No.
Okay.
I hate Lobo's Jews.
Giant mustache.
Overalls. I don't know.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Sure. Overalls.
He's dressed up as Super Mario.
That's right.
Oh, maybe you can say that you work backstage
Hello.
at the theater.
Let's see what words come out of Lobos' mouth.
So that's the first person who wore overalls that popped into my head was actually the guy from my high school theater.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like, I remember. They built the set. No.
Okay, you're at the door to an old woman's house.
Okay. Knock knock.
You can hear some like scraping and like you're just about to like knock again when suddenly the door is like very slowly like it's weird. It's like a jolt, but at the same time there's no real fast motion going on. It's just sort of like. And she has like you can almost see that she has like a dead cigarette in one set of fingers, but then there's a lit one still going in this one, and she's like, I don't do autographs.
Are you Lady Chandra? My name is Jackson Jackson, and I was.
Is that a stage name?
Yeah, no, it could be. That's a good idea. Let me jot that down here real quick. And okay, all right. I was wondering, do you teach any of them acting lessons here? Look, when I was
At
a
my house?
little kid, no, not here, but I just, when I was a kid, my pappy always took me to these shows, and I didn't know nothing about them, but they really spoke to me, and I spent so many years trying to figure out who it was that bestowed that magic upon my life, and lo and behold, I've tracked it down to you, Lady Chandra, in such epics as Springs Eternal.
Oh, you really like Hope Springs Eternal.
The hope was so springing, just eternally.
I'm gonna rip off my own head.
And it was, just.
I cut off my own head and equipped it with Vecna.
What?
You ripped the head of Vecna.
Oh.
Yeah. As a means of deceiving this old woman. Hello, ma'am, I'm Vecna. I also love your work.
Sorry, I'm losing it a little bit.
That's fine. Farran, what do you do?
Okay, so
Let's say Lady Chandra is distracted.
Yeah. So
She's certainly preoccupied.
What I want to do is I assume there's her room isn't necessarily. I'm assuming there's more than one room.
Yeah. So there's basically a suite up there.
Yeah.
She's over in the entrance hallway, and you're looking into her kitchen.
And I guess I'm trying to figure out where she would probably keep her documents. Would that be back in her own personal room?
Probably in her armoire or something like
Yeah.
that, or an
So-
office if she has one, but you can't tell from here.
So I guess I want to try and sneak inside the actual building to try and look around.
We're gonna go through the door or the windows.
The windows, because the door is shenanigans right now.
Yeah. Well, there's another door in the back. There's a back door.
Oh, okay.
Go through the window.
Window is more your style.
Yeah.
So I think I have to at least try, and then when the window goes horribly wrong, then we can.
Break open the window and then go, ooh, leap, and then go through the door.
You could beat her ass if it comes down to it. Oh my god.
I don't think it's going to come down to that.
We'll
but
see.
I'm so glad.
Roll them up, Farran.
She might be a high level actress.
Yeah. Oh, what's up?
I'm keyboard catting. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I can never not see it as like the Chinese jumping ghosts.
Yeah.
I can see
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
Or are they vampires?
They're
No,
vampires.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in demon.
Jiang Shi?
Yeah.
I'm so glad Lynn's not there to see them. The two people murder an old lady. Just.
Oops.
I can't believe you'd leave me out of
I'm
this.
hoping I
Set
have
her
a
apartment on fire.
contingency.
Just don't let them find out she's dead until after we've done our thing. Otherwise, we need to find a new old lady.
So you're basically just like scaling the outside to
Yeah.
try to open one of these things.
Yeah.
I think you test it to see if it's locked.
Mhm.
It is not.
Okay.
So you just slide it open.
Okay.
Okay.
So I want you to stealthily enter building.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
This is where. Yeah. I know.
Everyone's
You
like,
didn't break the window.
I
so
know.
Hey, yeah.
We're already way
hey!
That is a total of 16.
downright passable.
That was above average. She hears you.
She doesn't react to any noises back further in her house.
All right.
Of course, you can't quite see her, so you don't. She doesn't go like, "What was that?" or anything like that. She is like very slowly trying to close the door on Jackson.
Yeah. So
Quite understandably,
So I want to try and sort of look around for office, armoire.
Sure,
personal
you
room.
find yourself in sort of an old-fashioned kitchen. Mostly there are ashtrays full of butts around. Yeah.
I think they call them Barts now.
Yes, those. Death sticks.
Yes.
There's a hallway that leads to the entrance, and then across the hallway is sort of a old-fashioned living room where there's tarps like over all of the furniture, and then another one that goes further to the right, presumably to like her personal chambers.
I'll go to towards the personal.
Okay. She continues just sort of her ancient antediluvian stare of death at Jackson. It's like, so you were like what, 3 when you saw these?
No, I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I do remember these productions, and they really spoke
Okay.
to me.
So
you
you
know,
were
in such a way.
capable of forming memories. Are you're human? I'm getting your age scale correct here.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, no like ASMR blood or
Absolutely. What am I?
They
You
call
know,
them bucks now.
Yeah. I'm just trying to gauge. So you saw like something. So here's where I'm at is that at a very young age you saw a show with a lot of lights and sounds and distractions, and you thought that was terrific. When was the last time you watched?
Fantastic.
When was the last time you read the script for Hope Springs Eternal?
Oh, it's time
Must
for a
have been-
quiz.
Must have been decades. I never read the script. I just saw it in person.
Let me tell you,
Just saw
Sonny,
it.
I read it a number of times and it is not aged well. I've aged better and I'm shit. That play was garbage, and your father did you a disservice to drag you to that performance.
Well, heck, then I must be brought up to speed on what is quality content then. What is your favorite production?
Me?
Why, yes.
I like the old stuff, the Valinar material. I think some of the sagas to come out of that are. You really want to know about all this?
Well, yeah.
And you
of
can give
course.
me maybe like a deception or a performance or something like that to convince her of this.
Sure.
Because
I'm not gonna lie though, I wish
I mean,
that Jackson was your act.
give it time.
Yeah. I'll say. Sure, we'll say deception. 13.
She's like using what few muscles she has left in her face, which have clearly been touched up with magic over the years, but one of the eyebrows just lifts just a tiny bit, and she's like, all right, fine, come on, let's take a look at some of the real material, some of these real old, real heavy sagas. Come in. Are you bringing that duffel bag in? What is all
yes,
this?
actually, if you wouldn't mind, let me just real quick. It takes this time. Like,
Kaboom.
it's stuck on my hand here. Oh, there we go. Plops it down and takes it out. Now, right here, to show my devotion, I brought you such a present. This is a mighty fine chair here that I crafted myself.
I hate you,
My-
Jackson.
My very self and my two hands.
This is garbage.
Now, I know, you look at it
Yeah.
and it doesn't look very good, but that's why I want to get into theater, so I can speak to the people.
You've
Realize-
Realizing danger, I take on my first.
But it's more like a trophy, all right? You don't sit on it. There's
I mean,
guys like
to
Spike,
be fair, that's
some
the
dried
ultimate
blood
pity vote
right there, but you know that's.
You brought me the failure of your own craftsmanship as a present
It's
to get into
it
my
is
good
symbolic
graces.
of where I am and where I want to be.
We'll symbolize it somewhere in the alley, Junior.
I'm sorry.
Throw it away.
What? Throw it where? Over here?
Oh, further away from me.
Oh, all right.
Get it out of my sight. I hate it. I hate everything that led to its creation.
Reese begins
is getting like
to
super
cry.
mad.
He's gonna try and put on like.
Are you crying?
No.
Good. Cry
No,
more.
I'm not.
That's real there. That's some shame.
And then suddenly cold face. Now, what did you think of that? You see, I got some talent for acting here. You believed it, didn't you? You thought I had my feelings all hurt. All this has been a setup just to prove to you that I got what it takes.
Who sent you here?
I sent me.
Did Bobby send you here? Is this like a
Bobby.
a prank service? Is
Bobby
there some
Bobby.
new Dragon Mark house that serves pranks specifically?
That'd be amazing.
Oh, that's Lynn's Dragonmark house. Bring the
Shut
old
up.
lady the house.
Come inside. I'm gonna give you some sagas.
Wait, hold on.
You're gonna get
Hold
some
on.
homework.
He bends down. My shoes untied.
She's already like turning and walking towards the parlor.
All right.
Where are you? What's
He'll
going?
really
I
quickly.
assume I went back into the
Yeah, I think you're out of eyeshot. You are.
in like I was
You
going
see his
for where
feet
like
underneath the
her
curtain.
personal I guess whatever the room at the end of the hallway.
Yes. So there's a massive, sumptuous. Again, very old-fashioned kind of bedroom. All of the curtains are drawn. Sunlight hasn't been in here for a long time. There are a number of posters of all of her different shows. Most of them with the eyes scratched out and bottles thrown against them. There's a lot of junk. It's a very, very messy room. But there are several drawers.
So,
Like several sets of drawers around the room.
important question.
Yes.
Is there anything in this room that would be normally audible from the outside, like a large clock or anything like that?
Yes, I think this is the kind of place that would have a big, loud grandfather type clock.
Is it next to the drawers?
No, I think it's close to the door.
All right.
I think there's maybe like 2 large sets of drawers and then a vanity set sort of in one corner. And then an enormous king-style bed that's way too tall for an old lady.
Because one of the things that I've found out that I can do with key points is to
Yes.
cast silence
Oh.
and like basically nullify sound within a 20-foot sphere.
I think you could aim it such that it encompasses just the drawers
Yeah.
side of the room.
So essentially, I would want to do that, like basically target it and like kind of like invoke that on.
I'm
the,
gonna need some Naruto like hand
yeah,
signs.
just
Yeah,
There
we
you go.
I love it.
And like project that on the the sort of door side, the drawer side of the room. So essentially, I can go over and quickly go through the drawers.
And just
and well, not like
Of course.
like make a mess, but like open them and close them like rapidly.
Yes.
Cigarette butts,
Um,
cigarette butts, cigarette
in
butts.
order to
there are a lot of them.
yeah, in order to see if I can find it, in a much more timely manner than
Yes,
I might.
I like it.
Using
Give
my
me a. What do you want to use? Investigation.
I'm assuming this is investigation.
I think that's
so,
absolutely what investigation is for.
which I may need to stress out because
Oh, what's that?
I think that
Perfectly
I think that
average
just
guy.
makes it 10. I don't think I have any bonus or penalty there with that.
I think, given that you've cast silence in this area, I'll give you advantage on it. So
All right.
give it another try. Or maybe 10 is your high one.
10 is well. Can I activate the inspiration?
Yes,
for
you can.
earlier?
Absolutely.
And then here comes another die. That's lower. I guess I'm stressing this. Then.
Oh my god, okay. Well, take it away.
3d20 barely added up to more than 20.
Yeah, it's one of them's days. So
Yeah.
essentially,
It's a Tuesday.
It's
that.
it's a Tuesday.
I'm trying to think of essentially trying to find some way to use. Oh, you know what? It's technically burning another thing that's not actually part of this.
Okay.
But I'm still stressing it. But I'm just also going to click off actually using the shifting for this.
Okay.
And the idea being that because essentially my brain is failing me to try and find some way to use like raw instinct to accomplish this by essentially judging by the contents to try and figure out like
What's been opened most recently or most often, that kind of thing.
and as well, just from like the smell of, there's a person who actually uses this one.
Right.
And essentially after opening the one that's opened most often, if it's not there, going for the one that's opened least often, because
Okay.
how often does this come up necessarily?
Yeah, absolutely. And as a
And-
matter of fact, I think following that trail, you open one that is convenient near the vanity set, but that hasn't been opened in years at this point, and basically flip open her identification papers. So basically what this looks like is it's like a pentagon sort of leather-bound case that when you flip it open has a magical portrait of her. This one is maybe taken down maybe like 15 years ago, so she's still old but not ancient. And it has like her place of residence, where she was born, et cetera, et cetera.
And at which point do I like pocket that and,
Yep.
and look around to see if one of the windows is in the silent dome.
It is, but these definitely haven't been opened in years,
So it would leave evidence.
probably yes.
Um,
Meanwhile, I think you can tell at least that Lady Chandra and young Jackson have made their way into the living room across from the kitchen, where she is going through this enormous bookshelf, basically looking for like, all right, if you want the real good stuff, you want some of the Valinar classics and maybe some stuff from the hinterlands, and this is okay, so your homework is going to be
Homework?
when I say homework, I don't necessarily mean you're going to come back and give a report. I want you to take this information out into the world, away from me, but use this, and like I will one day like be out in the town and I'll look up and I'll see you on like a big marquee and I'll be like, oh, it's that young man, Jackson with the garbage that he brought to my door. I guess he really did make it. And that will be how I know that you'll know that I know.
How you getting along here? You live with anybody else? You need a hand? Like, I don't know, cleaning up the place, cooking some hot meals?
I haven't eaten food
know.
in 15 years.
What? You did what? Why?
She lives off of her acting talents.
Food is mighty tasty. You don't like food?
It's not a matter of like, honey. It's just a matter of the gig. It's like, hang on. She takes back one of the books and flips out, and then inexplicably pulls out a lit cigarette from it and is like, there we go. Illusion, honey. Mighty fine illusion.
Illusion?
Get out of here. Go read those. Make something of yourself. Use that crying and then not crying trick and get yourself a job. Not a job making things. That was useless. Never do that again. Never subject anyone to that. Farran, what are you doing?
I essentially want to probably wait until it sounds like they're going back to the door and then head out the same way I came in.
She's not.
Oh, she's sending him out.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, she's like sitting down in one of those big comfy chairs where she almost like disappears into the cushions.
Reese is gonna look for like the closest thing that catches his eye to just start babbling on about.
There's an old woman.
But like anything
Okay.
on her shelves or.
There is a. Where are all my dice?
There's a D6.
You find a urn.
Yeah.
Does it look particularly Ernie?
It has a lot of this stuff is like
My husband.
covered in dust and like not well kept up, and there's just a mess. The urn actually has like a little area around it, as though it's like magically shielded from the mess. It seems like the only thing in the room that seems like it's in any kind of condition.
All right. Well, he'll like start to turn and head out and kind of spot that and be like, Now I have to ask, what is this all about? This is pretty nicely kept, while the rest of the place is, I don't know.
My goodness, your powers of perception are just as incredible as your skill at crafting chairs.
Well, I mean, I'm working on them, so.
Don't. Please stop. That skill tree is filled up, baby. You just need to move on to something else. That's my husband.
Oh, was he an actor?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, was he a stagehand?
Yes.
Oh. 2 guesses. I'm a detective, too. Private Eye Jackson.
Fuck this character.
You need a hand figuring something out. You come talk to me. I'll leave you my card. It pulls out like
Will
a
you?
Kleenex. Doesn't have anything.
Honey, is there perhaps something
Here's a
wrong
data
with?
sample.
Is there perhaps something wrong with your brain that is going on here? Like,
My
have you
mama
just
said that
have you
things
just-
that are wrong with us make us who we are, and that
the
makes
same
me
father
special.
that encouraged you in your
No,
craftsmanship?
my mama, not my papa.
Your mama, excuse
My
me.
dad.
I wasn't listening to what you were saying. Was the problem?
Well,
Are they?
Farran, are you just hanging out?
Oh, I'm trying to figure out if they're distracted sufficiently that I can get back out that way, or if I need to.
The
look
problem
for-
is that there is a opening in the hallway. It's like just an open hall.
So you have to pass through her line of sight?
Yes.
How? Let's see about
Oh,
that. Like how?
I'm bored with
Like
this.
how wide is the opening? I guess kind of thing.
It's like if there was a door, there would be a double door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Door.
Just run full sprint.
Well, I was trying to figure out if I can.
Yes.
I've got like the minor illusion, but it only covers a 5-foot cube at once.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out if I could essentially like try and basically
Screen yourself?
Yeah, put a screen across of here's what this hallway looks like.
I think that you
Yes.
could do that as long as you're ninja running so you're short enough.
Oh, of course. Like
He
it's
can only ninja run.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a 5-foot cube. I mean, I'm sneaking
Yes.
anyway, so yeah.
So, yes. Okay,
brilliant, I love
do
it.
that.
That's my plan. I'm
Okay.
doing that.
Okay, but I think it doesn't cover your footprints, right?
No.
So I will need another stealth check.
Oh yeah, of course. I can't wait to use all of my stress on this
So,
old lady's house, and not on the bank heist.
Reese, what I'll let you do is you can perceive it. So you're sort of, I think, deliberately listening for your
Right.
companion. So I'll give you advantage to perceive it.
Okay.
And if you perceive it, then you can make some kind of a distraction.
Yeah, I want to sneeze.
Sneeze on your
Cover.
business card.
Yeah.
Here
Huh?
we go.
Or on the old lady,
Oh.
You grabbed it.
giving her the common cold and killing her.
It's a Brandon die.
Oh my god.
That's a 15.
Okay.
Okay, that's good at sneaking.
I got.
That's
Oh,
three.
oh wait, no,
Sixes.
that's only a 14.
Okay, that's
But
fine. She's
Reese is
old.
very
Okay.
wrapped up.
But here's the thing, though. I think you sneak out like a champ.
Yeah, he's just stuck.
But Reese doesn't know that you're gone because you snuck so good. So now,
but I can contact him once I'm like.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, once I'm.
In an hour or two. He doesn't come back in the hideout. You're like, I wonder whatever happened. Oh, I forgot to tell him.
What were we talking about?
Detective.
Detective.
Private Eye Jackson.
And brain problems.
Yeah.
And your mom.
And
And
your
his
mom.
mom. My mom.
Right.
Mom. And her husband.
Honey, I'm gonna be as forthright with you as I can.
Very good.
How can I give you some money and you will leave?
Not looking
Yes,
for
say
money.
yes.
We need coin.
Yeah. 6 away.
Screw heists. We have a new job.
She pulls out like a little coin purse and like literally starts going through her pennies and her Bergenwerther mints.
Get some ribbon candy.
You don't have to do that.
I
mean,
don't. I just want you to go. I've made that abundantly clear.
Was this for the detective work that you're prepaying me?
Reese, unclear.
Or the chair? Labor, that's all right.
Save
Parts
yourself.
work. I had the parts.
Here's I've tried to end this as amicably as possible, young man. I have a button on my person that will call the police. So I could put that button, or I could give you a coin and you leave.
Well, okay, all right. I'll take the
What-
coin.
what-
Could
what-
I trouble you for a glass of water before I head out? I am parched from
Help yourself. The kitchen's
my-
right there,
thank you.
honey.
I'll head towards the kitchen and
Yep.
also scan for.
I'll
Farran.
yeah. Once I'm at ground level, I'll be like I'm clear.
Oh,
Yeah.
He didn't hear over all the
Just
detective
smashes
calls.
the water glass on the table.
runs out. Okay. He'll get the water and then just have a sip and then put it down and be like, "All right, well, it was a pleasure meeting you. I suppose. Thank you for the literature, literature, and I'll
Now
keep
she's
an eye out.
vaping.
Keep an eye out on those billboards, because if I'm not an actor up there, you'll see me as in full suit, detective work, giant eyeball, something like that.
Giant eyeball. That's your detective name. Got it. All right.
Jackson.
Giant-
Alias Giant Eyeball.
Giant eyeball. Private eye. I got it.
Anyway, thank you for your time.
The beholder of the crime investigation world.
Giant Jackson.
And with that, he'll leave.
Okay.
And he also put the chair in front of her door, so the next time she opens.
Why?
He's gonna trip over
Could
and
you lean it
die.
against the knob so you can't get it?
Oh my god. He's not doing that, but
Okay.
he's got to move it out of the way so nobody trips over it.
Okay. All right, you meet back up with Farran.
I'm gonna look report in the newpaper that says local woman dies.
I'm not sure
A
who's
day
more
before our
exasperating.
heist.
Charisma the Magnificent or Jackson Jackson?
Impaled by a chair.
Well, how'd it go?
Yeah. We got it.
I really would have loved, like, I couldn't find him. Just gonna have to try it again. You got enough juice for round 2?
No, it's we secured the ID.
What's so
I'm-
fun?
Yeah.
Good.
I think we should keep track of the number of. Is that a new chair or is that one of the original batch?
Oh, we did.
No, that's
we made
original.
12.
We made a lot.
I think we need to keep track of how
Yeah.
many
Okay.
How many
All right.
and
It's
where
like the
they
ghost coin.
where they wind up.
I think 3 are down. Right?
In
One for Doro, one
Yep.
for I think something.
We destroyed
else.
one for something.
Thank God, just to make sure it could be done.
Yeah.
Those
The
are a
entire
lot.
continent was destroyed as soon as we broke the
I
chair.
think really those are what need to be smuggled into the bag. These are too powerful.
In the sequel,
Whoa,
The Shadows
can
over
we
Eberron,
false flag
the
those as the
chairs are going to
artifact?
be a
We can just
collectible.
embed the artifact in a little trapdoor in a chair, and
Well,
then.
the good news is
No one
nobody's
wants it.
gonna take it.
Yeah, nobody
fucking
wants
those
this.
chairs.
They're afraid to even touch them. They're like, is this cursed? This is a curse.
No, it's just awful.
Yeah.
A curse of awful.
It just says
boy.
cursed, but nothing actually happens.
Well,
All
there's
right.
runes on it.
What else do
Yeah, it says ghost.
What else do people want to spend their time doing? We've got maybe another 40 minutes or so.
Lynn was
of
going to
gameplay
meet up
time.
with Ix when we were going to hit the town.
Okay.
And Maddie was gonna
so
I
try
think the
speak.
town was gonna hit Lynn.
Hey. And
Yes.
I don't remember what we're doing, but I remember we're doing things.
Okay.
We're also doing a downtime thing.
Ark and
Maddie
Reese,
can
do you guys
talk
wanna hang
her
out?
into it.
Yeah,
Sure.
Oh my god, yeah.
So,
Okay.
I was hoping, and tell me whether we have time for this or not, but when we're coming back from Charisma the Magnificent,
Yes.
Ix wants to try to drop by the WrestleMan show to see if she can get some training in. She's been endeavoring to do that for
Yes,
the
absolutely.
better part of 6 months.
It's true.
And since she knows Ark is into it, and she already has somebody with her, she figures it's as good a time as any to do that.
Yes, that's very sensible. Okay, I think you drop by while it's still daylight, so it's sort of kind of the market is winding down, and some people are sort of trying to get some sparring going and that kind of thing.
Be like, I'm supposed to meet up with this devastatingly handsome guy here to do some fighting.
Alright. I'm
Nobody
gonna
told
see
me.
fighting.
I know you like the wrestle stuff, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, the gladiator pits. Since it's all real.
Oh, it's real. I mean, I couldn't believe the things they did. It was
So if you're willing to hang out just so I don't get eaten by a dog.
yeah. I mean, it's mutual. You also help.
Yeah,
Like we help each other.
Symbiosis. Or
No dog eating. on
Ark,
our
something
watch.
bumps into you, something big.
Oh, whoa.
And
Like bigger than me, I see.
yeah, absolutely. And you turn and see the towering form of the Etten that masquerades as the Demogorgon.
Oh, you're the Demogorgon.
And
Yeah.
one face is just sort of like, the other one is chowing down on a classic like RPG turkey leg.
You were awesome. I saw you lay the smackdown on the Displacer Beast, and then who was the other, the Goblin thing? What was the Goblin thing? Anyway, I saw you fighting. You were awesome.
Thanks, like something super. You gonna get an autograph or can we go see Grotz?
Yeah.
Grotzt.
Grotz.
Yeah, we can move on. Yeah. You're awesome.
He places one of his hands on your shoulder and just sort of spins you around.
Yes!
And signs your chest.
Yes!
Oh, I'm not washing this
It's-
for months.
But it's etched in good.
It's not clearly like a word.
It just
Neither is it like that cursive that people sometimes do. It's just sort of like there.
Half smiley face, half nod.
Yes. Oh my God, that's what it is. It's two emoji of each of their heads.
Yes!
That's very good.
Nice.
Continues on its way.
Thanks, Demo.
Awesome. You're the best.
I mean, he's not Displacer Beast, but anyway. She'll stagger on through and try to find the Grotz.
coming from sort of the back area, the Grotz sort of pats the Demogorgon on his way out and sort of spots you and hustles over and it's like, hey, how's it going? It's, hey, bad habit.
Yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
my array name.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good one.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Just you're on both feet and making eye contact. So that's a drastic improvement. Just given.
You're right. It is pretty stunningly beautiful. Like, objectively.
Best wingman, yes. Oh my
I
god,
didn't expect any different.
that was so good. Thank you, Ark.
I mean, yeah.
This
I
is
see it.
my friend Ark.
Hi.
Hey, Art. Pleasure to meet you.
He's
Yeah.
a big fan of yours.
Yeah, everything you guys do here is amazing.
Thanks.
I mean, you guys really I'm surprised you can take all those hits. It's amazing that you.
Well, constant diet and obsessive exercise.
Yeah.
You can do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, we haven't had that many Warforged fighters. People tend to
Oh man.
think, I don't have a problem with it. I'd certainly go to toe, but I think there's sort of this idea that being made of metal and stone and wood might be, I don't know. Have you, you've been around, I assume. What's a fight like for you?
I mean, I've been in a few scuffles myself.
Do you want to spar?
Sure.
Oh man, excellent.
Why not?
That's good. This is
Please
good.
don't accidentally kill the Grotz.
No, I think I'm
Rip
gonna
his
get
heart
killed.
out.
I'm probably just gonna like.
You're not
Actually, this is good. This is good. This is like in character.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good. You want to do the thing, right? The training. Listen, let's do this. I don't want people to get the idea that like I'm offering classes or anything like that, but I do want to train you. So let's do this. Let's head to the rooftop out back so that there's not as much commotion, perhaps.
Okay.
But if you want to come along too,
Yeah.
we could
Yeah,
just.
she's my bodyguard.
Oh.
I'm just helping out.
Okay. Keeping her out of hospitals.
She's ran into a few.
Taking you to
problems.
hospitals.
Well, yeah, she's ran into a few problems lately. Yeah.
Wow.
We have.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Problems. Okay. But yeah, we'll just do some like light sparring and like maybe I'll get a better idea of like Warforged physique and you'll learn a little bit about getting your hands dirty.
Sure.
Sorry.
Just caked in filth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so you head out back and basically up a couple of stories to, not really far removed, but definitely like away from prying eyes. And he's just sort of like, okay, well, we're just going to go through some just like basic shoulder tag. So basically just like, square off against each other and try and hit each other on the shoulders. And I'll sort of give you pointers on like the form and such. All right?
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Immediate eye gouge.
Yeah.
I'll say Art probably will just kind of slam fairly hard.
Okay.
Good.
Right?
That's good, Art.
Hold
You
on,
did Good.
just real quick. Okay, first of all, just like tag, not like chop.
Oh.
Yeah, like you don't want to break her in half. And no, please don't drink while we're sparring. It's important to stay hydrated.
Too hard?
Yes.
Oh.
You want to do big circular motions. And
Good,
just try and
Fine.
tap her. Please
Okay,
don't break
sorry.
her like a tiny twig
Gotcha.
filled with chemicals.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah, he
quite.
doesn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I
You can't
didn't-
just melt
okay,
it.
okay.
Baby doll, you're fine.
You signed a waiver, right?
No, Art's gonna probably be like,
Yeah. It's pretty fast. But
Yeah,
her
of course.
Conditioning is not. She's like, we pulled a hamstring.
I feel like she's gonna be like completely set for like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And then she's done.
Pretty much.
So here's what I want you to do. I want you to give me a Constitution save.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Good.
Aw.
5.
You want to stress it?
So yeah, you make it like 25 seconds, and then you're just like completely out of breath. You're like, okay. So the hydration and the not smoking and yeah, I mean, you can do what you want, but you know, I'm not here to judge you. But I am gonna say, like, if this is something you're interested in, then at least not like synchronously, you shouldn't be doing those
I
things.
mean, if I was,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I have a solution. Just dialogue.
Oh.
More.
So no, I think this is a good start. Let's just take it a little bit slow, and I think you get your skill up point, and depending on how much, how hard you want to go at it, you can spend a coin to get an additional skill up.
Let's
Or
not
so
do that
inclined.
right now,
Okay.
since I have almost no point.
Got it.
Did Reese get any? We'll get 1 coin from that encounter bonus from
Yes.
her. Or, okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if it was like actually little.
Did you steal her
pennies.
husband's ashes?
No.
You could hold it as hostage.
Oh my god.
Just like
Just
holding,
like
holding a gun to them. Like,
Jackson demands
You're
your
coming out of retirement.
Oh my god.
For
Buy
one
this
last
magazine
show.
or we'll shoot these ashes.
Yeah, so after they sort of wrap up,
Yeah.
Hicks will be like rubbing her knee and her shoulder.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's gonna hurt for a few days.
That's fine. Thanks.
So yeah, let's do this again. That was, yeah, no, that was better than I was afraid that it might be. Given no, I'm
Yeah, that's higher views for me. That's
well.
fine.
I mean, the first time that we met, you literally collapsed in my arms and had to go to the hospital.
I'm super close to that right
You're
now.
still talking though, so that's good.
Yeah.
And you've got a friend.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
It was all fun. I mean, I gotta slap you around stuff.
They seem great.
Art is great.
Yeah.
It's good to have friends.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think we're gonna go.
Okay, we'll come back and, you know, drink up, rest up.
Yeah, I'll drink up.
All right. No, that's not what I meant.
It's fine, thanks.
All
Good
right.
luck in your next match. I mean, I'm rooting for, I guess, everyone. You're all kind of awesome.
Man, you are just a wonderful small child. And that makes you our target demographic. I'm sort of getting choked up.
I just can't believe it's so real.
Please, no one can see the Gratz crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally whip.
By all our
Mark my
places.
like, leg can
Yeah.
support you a little bit.
Oh, I gotta go out tonight.
Okay, Maddie and Farran, what were you two doing?
So Maddie was kind of giving you a funny look most of the day, and finally, as it gets a little later in the evening, he says, "Come here for a second." I'm outta here." Actually, goes all the way up to the roof. He's kind of looking around a little bit. Finally, she starts to speak. So this, and she kind of takes in the building, takes in everything. This is my day job.
Mm-hmm.
Under the circumstances, I need some help with my night job. You're the only one I can ask.
All right.
I'll give you the details once we get underway. For now, just shadow me where I'm going.
All right, we'll do.
Alright, bring your work suit.
Yeah.
Alright,
He turns his t-shirt inside out.
using city secrets, she will navigate to the soup kitchen.
Okay.
And she actually navigates to behind it first. I assume there's a back exit that she
Yeah,
must use
absolutely.
at some
Sure.
point. She stops there, points, and says to Farran, "Wait there. Be out before too long."
All right.
And then Maddie.
I think we say maybe like 5 or 6 minutes go by and you're not necessarily terribly sure what's going on. But then a little while later, Maddie emerges. Is she clad?
Actually depends on what the mission is, unfortunately.
So I think this is more akin to the sort of stuff that MAM usually gives you. There's someone that's roughing up folks in the slums that needs taken care of.
But probably not a killing matter. By the sound
No,
of it,
but someone
yeah.
that needs the fear of God put into him, so to speak.
Don't disintegrate them.
Alright.
No disintegration. Oh, the reference to Star Wars.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Thank you all for listening to my content.
You do see a woman emerge wearing a mask. And has the Whistler been described in the papers at
Absolutely.
any point? Yeah.
I mean, she's basically Eileen.
Yeah, that's basically.
Cool.
Nice.
There's
From Blood Lord.
there's yes.
Come on, Eileen.
Oh, you got to it
Pro
first.
mask and Blood Lord clothes.
There's long. You're not sure if there's a cloak or a jacket or a coat or something like that. It's difficult to tell because the tatters that are coming off, they almost seem like feathers, and they basically hide this form. It's almost just a mass of shadow moving across. And the one thing that is clear is the plague doctor sort of crow mask. You recognize the form of the Whistler. Obviously, this person has killed your friend. Roll initiative. Maddie, do you out yourself or?
Oh wait, no one killed. The Whistler hadn't killed anyone. Farran knows, or you just
but he is a murderer.
She would have joked. Was that she
killed Maddie.
Killed you and come out.
Yeah, Maddie died.
Maddie's dead.
Maddie is dead.
I forget. Do the Stones have a private? Do they have a private channel, or is it always broadbeam?
It's always broadbeam.
Yes.
Ark's gonna have to upgrade them if you need.
I think
Extra
this-
buttons.
I think that this is a good problem to
Yes.
have.
Oh,
No,
100%.
Right.
I'm not gonna solve all your problems for you.
She kind of stares. She stares at you for a moment, and she starts walking towards you slowly, weapon hands nowhere near her weapons.
I'll essentially try and look like eye to eye, like mask to mask, I guess, to see if I can recognize. Yeah.
She does nothing to further make that difficult, but she is wearing a disguise specifically designed to make that very difficult.
There's just a Silent Hill monster coming straight for you.
Erratic motions and everything.
I guess could I try and use like insight to figure out like gate wise?
Sure.
I mean like positionally, like it seems unlikely. Like I mean I do know that this is like the soup kitchen. We've been there and we've had food.
Absolutely, yes.
So it's unlikely that a vigilante would go and like murder in front of a bunch of children.
Well,
I mean,
This is
Maddie's
Sean.
done that already. Remember all those children on the pirate ship?
I mean, let's just see how this goes. Maddie, what are you doing here? What's the plan?
She walks towards Farran silently.
My
not in any hurry.
attention to read like my attempt to like read like gate and intention there was an 18.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you get the sense that like something is up, but you may not be in immediate danger.
Yeah. So I'll basically like stand my ground.
Okay. Sure.
I'm like watching carefully.
Okay.
She gets pretty close, about
Yeah.
this far
Yeah.
between at this point.
Is Farran gonna die?
yes.
Turns out,
You're my target.
yeah.
I get a scar that just says Doge for some reason.
Oh, I hate viral marketing.
She stares quietly for a moment, and then she says, "This is something no one else knows. It has to stay that way."
And then Farran dies.
Yeah, you're not helping.
He's not necessarily trying to
it's
at the
like,
moment.
I believe I understand.
It's not serious work tonight, but it needs to be done. Come on.
All right.
I assume you know what this is probably about by this point.
Yeah, I've read the papers, so like.
Then we don't need to talk anymore. Let's go.
And sure enough, we cut away to the Whistler standing over the form of a terrified hobgoblin who's been basically muscling the shopkeepers in the soup kitchen's neighborhood for the past couple of weeks, who's pushed his ill-begotten gains a little bit too far and has the Whistler to deal with. Are you gonna kill me?
Depends. What'd you do with the money?
Yeah, it's under my bed.
Where's your bed?
It's over there in the corner. There's I ain't got no, I ain't upgraded to like a larger space or nothing. It's just this is all I got.
Well, you're in luck. It's not a killing matter. Reverses her dagger and knocks him out.
Okay.
She motions Farran, check the bed.
I'll go and check. Well, first, I guess I'll look around the environment.
Yeah, so basically you're just in like a little bolt hole this guy has sort of hidden away. He had a strong lock on it, but that's about the only thing of any value in here. But sure enough, you find a satchel loaded down with, absconded with coin.
Right. I'll take that and,
Yoink.
return it to, I mean, I'll bring that back to
Yes, you
the
will.
Whistler.
Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Takes it and hefts it. About how much coin are we talking about?
8.
Yeesh.
Nice.
You mean
Score.
4?
Yeah. Feels like 4 to me.
4 and 8 are very close cosmically.
Yeah. On a scale of 0 to infinity.
Yes.
It's practically the same number.
Yes.
She takes it and puts it away in her cloak of feathers. Thinks for a moment. Pulls out the dagger. Well, you did read the papers, right?
Yep.
Alright, then you don't have to watch. Yeah.
Give me a vice roll.
Alright.
And a D8.
1.
Hey, barkeep.
Yeah, she will indeed.
Card's another thing. Like, that's not good enough.
Hold on, I messed up.
Wait,
Let me try here.
Ah, I got like 70% of the way through.
We don't have to, but
Let me cross this one out.
It's like smash cut to a different.
How does the barkeep thing work? Is it the same? Is it the same
It's the
vice?
exact same. You can just do it twice.
Okay, so it's part of the same vice, not actually doing it again or anything.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you like a second.
oh no!
Overshot it by 1.
Oh boy!
You accidentally face.
I will point out something that might be interesting to you.
Uh-huh.
Part of the procedure the Whistler uses to do this is using lay on hands, which can trigger wild magic under her current condition.
You
Up to
explode
you
the
if you wanna use
hobgoblin.
Oh my god. Don't disintegrate him.
No disintegration. We had one
It's
rule.
totally up to you, but I did want to point that out. That is definitely a defined thing.
Dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Chaos
Oh, I'm
Ravens.
so glad I'm here to get turned into a unicorn. Wait.
Unicorn dog.
All right. So describe the process that's going on in front of Farran's
Well, the
horrified face.
And what was his exact method of it? Was it just extortion? Was it robbery, muggery? What was the specific method he used?
He's been breaking people's arms unnecessarily to steal their money.
Strong arm muggery.
Yeah.
Mugging. Okay. Well, she starts to carve the glyphs for mugger into his forehead,
Mm-hmm.
even cutting away hair if necessary to make enough room to make it plain.
Mm-hmm.
And when she's carved that, she takes her hand. It starts to glow. She places it on his forehead, intending to seal and scar the present.
So here's what happens.
Turns into a unicorn.
Your
Score.
holy powers flare unexpectedly, and there is a bright flash from your hand, and it actually like dims your vision for a second. And much to your frustration, when you look up, your handiwork has been healed. And furthermore, you feel sort of a sick sense in your stomach, given that you have now taken necrotic damage equal to the damage that this poor fellow had taken. So you have taken 8 necrotic damage.
The good news is Farran can't make fun of you for jacking up your things. He fucks up his ninja shit.
It's true.
You did pretty well this time, though.
She kind of looks in frustration at it a
Wow.
little bit. She hands Farran the dagger.
Wow.
This is a bonding experience.
I like looking around and like,
Holy shit!
Guess you're going to be a little more involved in this than I reckon. Look, this has got to be done. We just do it like this, it just looks like a robbery. Nobody learns nothing.
When Minerva asks if you want to hang out tonight, you say no!
I'm worried about my.
It's
Like, I'm not
like
saying this out
wrestling.
loud, but I'm like, I'm worried about my medical skills here. Like,
Oh my god.
Oh, whoop.
I
Oh.
want a
yeah, give me.
sleight of hand check.
Okay.
Oh, you could do
Or you can give me medicine, whichever one you prefer.
Light of hand
Okay.
today. This is going to be a disaster.
Yeah, this is already a disaster.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to say you can't stress this roll. I don't think that you were going to.
I don't think I was going to either. I
Just-
think I was going to let what
Yeah.
I
happened.
think you're already stressed.
Just to add to the creepy factor of this whole affair, because this is something Maddie would do now. She puts a hand under her shoulder and says, "Stay calm. You got this." You add a D4 to the check from guidance.
Yay!
You turn into
You're being very encouraging about carving a man's face.
Face car.
Oh, boy.
You guys.
Yes. Yes.
That brings us to a grand total of 9.
You guys.
You got some of the letters right.
No, there is no distinguishing a letter anywhere here.
Oh my
You've made a mess.
Oh my god.
You've made a mess, and each swipe makes you feel more and more sick. But you at a certain point, like halfway through, you just finish it and are just like done.
Let's get out of here.
You don't even feel the.
No, that went bad
Yeah,
last
that,
time.
I think that was a overindulge, if I can say so.
What the
so
fuck, you
fucked
guys?
up. Wow.
We need a whistler for the whistler.
Yeah.
Who whistles the whistler?
That never is quiet on the way back to the
I
house.
bet she is.
I bet Farran isn't very chatty either.
So what did you guys do tonight?
That's oh boy. It'd be a lot creepier if she was like.
No, she was bothered by not going the way it was supposed to.
We did some carving.
We got high.
Yeah.
On drugs.
We did
Yeah.
drugs. It was very bad. We regret it.
We'll never do that again.
And about halfway there, Maddie kind of stops for a second. She kind of turns to you and is like, "So that's not exactly how that was supposed to go."
Oh my god.
I'm afraid I'm not very. It seems that my.
That's on me. Look,
Yes, it sure is.
you didn't say otherwise.
No, I should have been more adept with a blade as well.
That's not the point. Look, I feel like since I drug you into this, I probably should have done this beforehand, but frankly, it's just, you do understand why this has to happen like this, right? I mean, guard don't give a shit what happens down here. Only way to get people to behave themselves to make a few examples now and then. I mean, granted, didn't do too hot a job of that tonight, but that's on me. No, that ain't on you, but that's why we got to do this.
If anything, maybe we can spread the word that there's a copycat who's not very good at it.
I don't think anybody will have any trouble believing that one after this.
It might. Well, I mean, the truth is. I mean, in some sense, it's the truth, but maybe that'll inspire even more to, well, hopefully not more people to do exactly what we did, but.
It takes a very special person to walk the line on this sort of thing. I don't know if I'd want too many other people trying it. But
Exactly.
Walk the line. Just like a delicate tightrope.
I can see the newspaper headlines like local goblin has Budger carved in his head. Or Dudger.
Or Muppet.
I love this Quentin Tarantino tabletop game we're playing.
Sure.
all right.
It's called carving, and Charntines are doing it to each other in school back alleys. Inspired by the Whistler.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry that your team is carving.
Lynn, please take us away from here.
Yes.
Lynn's sort of waiting around for
Sorry, the last note. Maddie does give all 8 of the coin to Ma'am to redistribute to its proper location.
She thanks you kindly. Just from my knowledge, how much of what happened, the way that it happened, is communicated to Ma'am? Does she even know that there was another person there tonight?
Like, I'll stay out of the picture if you prefer, or you can blame it on me.
I brought a new recruit with me, and man, he's just not working out.
Maddie is actually completely honest about everything that happened. She already had told Ma'am about the malfunctioning magic, so that actually isn't terribly surprising, probably.
Ma'am is pretty quiet and kind of brusque about it. She's just like, fine. I'll let you know next time we need you.
All right. Well, good night.
She says nothing. Lynn.
Lynn is waiting for Ix to get back because we're supposed to go hang out
Ix
tonight.
gets back.
Yeah, Ix would come
Let's-
back she's like put compression wraps on her leg and shoulder. She comes back in looking pretty fucking drug out with Ark.
And then
Alright,
Lynn
let's
immediately
pause.
grabs her leg for reasons I don't understand. I feel like I'm
Don't touch my shoulder.
Ooh.
Reese, are you back?
Who's up
You
there? Yeah, he's just been like
No.
hanging out.
Can
man.
I can make that feel better.
That's, we're about to go make it feel better. Don't
Okay.
Ark's throwing ear punches.
Yeah.
What are you guys going up to?
Lynn keeps some distance from work. We're just gonna, hang out a bit.
worry. You know, girls' night out.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
can
just
disguise myself.
kind of something for the blood. Just gauze.
I mean, do you want Reese to come with us?
I think that'd be good if it's just us. But if Reese wants to come, he
Lynn
can.
and I haven't spent much time just the two of
Yeah.
us.
That's fine. Go have your time.
Yeah.
I'll just be
Hey,
here.
You can hang out with me whenever you want, sunshine.
I'm here, Reese. Huh?
Oh, hey, Ark, how's it going?
Ark,
What are you working on? You're
Ark,
probably
seriously.
something crazy,
Yeah,
right?
I
You're
He's
always
like
doing-
mid push. They're like mid push up.
Yeah.
It's like
Does that even work for you?
Yeah.
It's just pistons. Like, you're not getting
So,
Aren't you just wearing yourself down
a
more?
warrior told me that this is a good way to stay in shape.
We're going.
Okay, yeah, we bug it.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Yeah, as we slide over, we go, where are we going?
So, they wanted us to, buddy up just in case there's any problems.
dogs.
And, you looked like you might want to hit the town, and I kind of didn't know who else I could ask to go with me for my evening activities. How about you go first, after
Wait,
you?
Are you like? Are we gonna go get laid?
No, that wasn't.
Like no chance.
That's not what I had in mind. That's not normally how my
Okay,
evenings
well,
off go.
All right, then
Um,
you're gonna have to be a little more specific.
Yeah, there's a bar that I go to that they get a bit rough, and I just sort of from time to time I like to go and mix it up a little bit. So
You go get a
She likes it rough.
bar fight.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
That's something to do. I do want to say though, I would really appreciate it if you did not have my back in any way, shape, or form. Just
Okay, done.
yeah, perfect. Okay, just if you just sit back in the corner, I'll get you a drink or something, and then you can just sort of relax. Maybe the beer will help your arm feel a little bit better.
Yeah. On that note, let's make a stop.
Okay, I like this
I
idea.
just have to pick up some supplies for the mission.
Okay, perfect. That sounds great. This girls' night out. We're bonding.
Yeah,
we're
this is
bonding.
good.
We both are obviously very comfortable with everything going on right now.
Cut away to a warlock hut.
100% honest and upfront with each other.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go inside here, and then I'm gonna
Lynn, give me an insight check.
come back out
This is a
shortly.
drug place. Like Lynn just says it. Like on the worst kept secrets in the world, please don't roll a 1. Okay, insight check. That's gonna be 20.
Okay. This is a place where people go to buy drugs.
Yeah,
This is a weed place.
yeah. This is a lot more than a weed place, and Lynn can smell it and be like, oh. Okay, yeah.
Amphetamines.
Yeah, that's.
I get.
Horse
or,
tranquilizer?
I guess it doesn't make much.
Griffin tranquilizer.
Yeah, no, seriously, this could kill a lot.
I'm your sweet baby boy.
Doesn't. 30 Griffin tranquilizer. I guess it doesn't make much sense to leave you
Outside?
in the cogs at night if we're. I guess you can just come in.
Like,
Yeah,
there's
no,
literally, actually,
It's like guys sharpening knives over.
there's
my
someone
girl.
swinging a flail.
Swinging a chain.
I think it's fine.
But wait, haven't you been here
Yeah.
You've been on the rooftop nearby in order to meet up with
Don't be that
Onion Knight
Yes.
in order to make a deal.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did that as a group.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
'Cause I don't like.
Yeah, no,
it's
Lynn's
just
gonna get
leave her,
murdered.
But she's like, that doesn't make sense. She's like, I guess just.
No,
come
of course.
inside.
Yeah.
The guy starts lowering his flail.
Sorry, bud. Let's go inside.
You're,
I was really disappointed. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Good evening. You brought me
She's just.
A friend.
We're on a date, but I just need some stuff. Like, she's not part of this.
to
equation.
perform. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time.
Yes. Do you expect how many hours?
If you have a great time for more than 4 hours, call your warlock.
Lynn's listening very intently.
Look, no, I just need stuff for the road.
I'm getting mixed messages here.
Just the usual.
Okay.
Just don't. She's just not even here.
You don't see a nose, but there's definitely like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, there's like
Hold
some
more, please.
extracting your essence, like, it's like hocus pocus. It's fucking gross.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
it gave me so many nightmares.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I love
No!
that movie. It's a great movie.
Oh, it gave me
They think
nightmares.
the road is a river because they had never seen asphalt before. And they ate kids.
Yes. Very well. Come on, open up, open up. And you see the warlock basically making some examinations of what you basically thought previously were just sort of generic track marks or scabs and whatnot, but are apparently cultures and sample areas. And there's apparently some degree of analysis and experimentation going on here. Give me that sweet, sweet vice roll.
Hey!
Yeah.
Do you want to do a D4 as well?
Yeah, so she'll like as they're sort of starting to wrap up, she'll be like, "Look, I'm sure you've heard my crew's going through a lot right now. Like, really, like, don't hold back on me, okay? Better than zero."
I'll give you something to take the edge off.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Come again
I will.
anytime.
As like she's like stuffing pills in her mouth as you guys go outside.
Oh, you dropped. Oh. Oh, goodness.
Alright, yeah,
let's
good
go.
stuff.
Let's go get in a bar fight.
Yeah! Hell yeah! Yeah, we.
Cutaway
we
too.
Shit.
Take it away.
So we go to my usual bar, wander in, and it's pretty late in the evening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually. Like,
It's peak hours.
Yeah. Shoot, I feel like for storytelling, I always want to come up with a different way of starting a fight, but
Sure.
there's only so many. And I'm not very creative after a long day today, so I'm just going to steal somebody's drink again.
Okay. Can I help you?
This is the person. Like I take their drink. Oh, sorry, sir. Here, let me get another. Whatever he was having.
And someone, and like his neighbor leans over, is like, wait. I've heard of this one. You stole my brother's drink like last week, like it was a funny joke.
I thought it was pretty good.
As I recollect, your ass was broken into several pieces and shipped off to the clinic.
Ix'll throw a drink in the guy's face.
Yes! Immediately high five.
And then immediately swings.
Yes.
Lynn, I assume you're just throwing yourself in the way of whatever goes its way.
Just flies in.
I believe I can fly.
It's like, what?
We are one messed
Oh.
up party of D&D characters.
But a very good Blades in the Dark party.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my god.
Give me that vice roll.
4. I'll take that as is.
Okay. You take your licks as they keep coming, and I think just because Ix, what are you doing? Are
Ix
you?
will get, I mean, like, so as the evenings progress, Ix's chemicals are clearly catching up, and she's starting to like pep up and like laugh and smile more. So she
Fucked up.
has a fight. While Lynn's intentionally getting her ass beat,
Sure.
Ix is accidentally getting her ass beat.
Sure.
She's doing her best to throw down, but she's a small, sick person. So I doubt
Give me athletics, and I'll give you disadvantage given your self.
Nice.
Natural 20. That's a 20. Total.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the Graz's lessons just clear my mind.
I think the combination of that, of like having like some sort of handsome positive reinforcement, plus some serious grade ogre painkillers, you have basically just gone into like bullet time, and you basically by the time Lynn is like staggering, you basically find Ix like straddling this one poor schmuck who may have like just gotten caught up in it, and his face is bloody. He doesn't appear to be like out. He seems more irritated than anything else. But Ix is just wailing on him. And it clearly has been for like the past 7 minutes. Like it's just ongoing.
Oh.
Like it's at the point where like there's a couple of people nearby that aren't fighting, and they're just sort of like,
Wow.
is this gonna keep going?
I didn't think she had that endurance. That's
She doesn't. She's on drugs.
like,
Are there people like taking bets on when she's gonna stop? Like,
hey, X, you ready to head out?
You've probably broken a couple of fingers and don't realize it.
She has a metal hand. If you remember.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Broken metal finger.
Can fix them. She'll sort of get up. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, yeah. Lynn's gonna sort of like lean down. Is the guy like how
He's
bad
not.
is he?
He's just bloodied up, really.
Okay, he's not
like
like-
as much verve as Ix has had. Throwing a straight punch is not in her. It's not in her skill set.
She's done like 4 or 5 damage, but it's very
Sure,
cosmetic.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Ready to hit the road? Yeah, sweet.
So,
Limping.
Uh-huh.
Ark was the one whose barkeep turned on him first.
To be fair, Ark is drinking in a much nicer part of town.
yeah.
Like, this is specifically a fighting bar.
This
This is like
happens whether
This is like a
Lynn is
Dick's
here or
Last
not.
Resort of bars.
Yeah.
like one of the Porky's movies, I guess.
I've never seen a Porky's movie. I'm way more sophisticated than you.
You clearly know what they are.
Of course, I have to have things that I'm not allowed to watch.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Drinking in like the craftsman's area, but not like the low, like high craftsman, like the nicer. Like,
Yeah, the
fair.
sober
Okay,
craftsman.
okay.
But not too
I was just
sober.
wondering about that because
Yeah.
she goes, "I'm going to turn you into the gang lord for starting a couple of fights," and it's like you go there every day.
Oh no, I have an understanding with the
Yeah,
bartender.
fair enough.
But I think that this is the sort of place where they
It
expect
is expected. Yeah.
there are going to be fights here. These are just happen to be the ones where Lynn is the cause of it. She's an odd bird.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But this odd bird has a friend, a high bird. And the two of them shamble off in the hopes of finding a friend who can use lay on hands without turning someone into
I mean,
a
I
unicorn.
can.
as they both give the.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I literally can just magically heal us both. But
And I think as the two of you sort of stumble off into the rest of the night, we'll wrap up there and pick up maybe with a bank heist next week. Good game. Unless there was something else anyone in particular really wanted to get done. But we can always do that at the very beginning of next time.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah, next
Cool. Next time.
next time, gotcha.
You, in particular, Reese, I think you had an appointment. The thing. I think the timing of that is
The
going to be.
gambling of an
Yes.
adventurous nature.
I think that is going to happen after the
heist?
The heist.
Okay.
That's okay.
I think
That's what I was-
Maddie has something after the heist too.
Okay.
The banquet for children.
Yes. Anything that can happen, anything that is pre-scheduled will happen after the heist is wrapped up, because that'll be a convenient time to wrap up an arc. Not that arc, the overall arc. Gosh, it's good to be back. I'm so pleased to be here, and I'm so pleased that everyone was here to join me. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy your local friendly neighborhood Fox, then you could listen to me on Serendipity City, where I play a character named Iroh, who hangs out with a different character named Fox, which is very confusing. But Fox is my character's adopted small demon son.
Aww.
And yeah, it's so, I mean, not officially, but it's like, my guy is kind of like a dad and knows what he's doing, and everyone else might, or they might just keep drinking. Anyway, you can listen to that at serendipitycitypod.com, or just look up Serendipity City wherever you get podcasts. I don't know where that is. iTunes? iTunes.
Podcast.com.
Podcast.com. Thank you very much, Logos Jr. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.
Bye,
Night.
Screen.
Nice meeting you.